I thought you told me you were the most efficient shitter on earth. So clearly you weren't.
Cool.
I
Okay,
have heard the
Ooh,
same.
that's on the
let's
internet
not
forever.
start the live like this.
I have no shame.
Yeah, okay, Devin, I think, says we're live now. So, hi, everyone. Welcome to the Second Chance Reunion hosted by me, Rich Dog. I'm here with my co-host tonight,
Well, I'm Alex Stibe. It's great to be here on the reunion with y'all.
and we are here with about 10 people of the Second Chance cast. Now, we have a lot of fun stuff tonight. We have a lot of fun fan reward awards that we're here to present today, including some that you may be familiar with, some that maybe haven't been on in a while, and more. Now, I'm very excited because I think this is going to be a very fun reunion, especially with a very electric group of people today. So, Steve and I will ask you guys some questions, and during little parts of it, we'll intervene with some fan awards. So, I think we should get started with the winner and Dan. Now, Dan, you told us that you didn't even tell Trinity that you won when it first happened after filming got done, wrapped up, and everything. And I know there was a lot of fun reactions from that with Trinity, a lot of fun reactions with your family, who I assume, like Chris Daughter, you also didn't tell that you won. So, Dan, you won. The game's over. It's aired out. How does it feel now that you're in the winner's circle?
Feels good. Yes, I kept the secret for 2 months. I didn't tell anyone. Well, I told one of my coworkers who lives in South Carolina because I knew there was no way that that was going to get out. So that was my way of being able to tell someone that wasn't involved and let everyone close to me have it still be a surprise. Was there more to the
All right,
question?
nothing
I don't
else
know.
about the winner's circle? Why does it feel being the winner's circle, Dan?
It feels good, I feel like I've always been here, but now it's official.
Give it a rest.
Give what a rest.
All right. So, Steve, what question do you have to Dan before I ask my second one?
Well, Dan, how do you think production and the cast as a whole did when it comes to keeping everything under wraps like that? When you were able to hide it from your own wife, I was honestly astounded by that. I probably wouldn't be able to hold it from somebody that close myself. And I'm just curious, like, uh, sorry, Ben's notes are distracting me. Ben,
Don't pay
we'll
attention
get
to
to
him.
you. Don't worry. It's gonna be a long night. We're gonna
Yeah.
get to
Oh, he's already
everybody.
starting up another post-it.
Um,
Dan, my question to you is, what do you think is the biggest aspect in this second chance game you've played to potentially, God, this is utter chaos, to potentially win this game like you did?
okay, so did you want me to touch on production keeping it a secret too? Because your question was kind of all over the place. I mean, I know Dick's not
Yeah,
here for the reunion, but it kind of feels like he is in spirit.
The early birds brought to you by Ritalin.
that's
No,
funny.
okay, so yeah, first off, yeah, production did a great job. Everyone did a great job keep not spoiling the season to others. I'm most impressed with Ben. I thought for sure he would tell Nolan within the first week.
Motherfucker
But
thinks he's on Liko the way he got my name in his mouth.
yeah, no, obviously. And then as far as what was the question at the end was what I did to win? Was that it, Alex?
Yeah, and I guess like, what's the number one thing that you improved on between your first season and your second that potentially like helped you the most win the game?
Yeah. Well, winning challenges helps for one. So there's less opportunity to be voted off. For two, I kind of touched on it during my final tribal speech, is that I actually had one-on-one conversations with people, whereas I feel like I didn't do that at all in my original season. I think you need to have a combination of both group conversations and one-on-ones to really get a full picture and have any sort of idea of what's going on and how to sway a vote. And just finding a way to position myself where that I could talk to and work with anyone that was on the season. There was only one tribal the entire season where I didn't know everything that was happening.
Impressive. And kind of bouncing off of that, Dan, because a lot of people recently have been kind of I don't know if I want to say like clamoring, but they've definitely put you in high regards as one of our best winners that we've had in our series in general. I know some people have definitely said top three. I know some people probably said top five of overall. So I kind of want to know, like, what's your reaction with that? Not only being in the winner's circle, but now knowing how you won the game, seeing it, and now having all these people claiming you as one of the best winners.
Uh, what is to say, Ben? Something about Vincent said Dan's number one. Okay. The I appreciate the compliments of that. I have not heard as much from some of my castmates, but that's okay because I agree that I do think that I was a great winner.
And I do too.
I got a shirt to commemorate it too. Some of you may have seen it at the watch party, but this is my King Kitty shirt. It's an original design. I drew it up while the season was airing.
I love it.
Ben, if you think
Honestly,
Dan was such a great winner, why didn't you vote for him?
Because we'll get to it when they talk. It's
yeah,
not my turn
we
to
can
speak.
get into that later on. All right, Steve, do you have anything else you want to ask Dan right now, or do you...
No, I'm good at the moment. Yeah, well,
Okay.
if the questions come to me, I'm sure they'll come to me and I'll ask them.
Okay, because I kind of want to move on to Vince. Vincent, you were so close. You lost by just a single vote. And obviously, I think a lot of thought process came up and down as what you were saying since the whole season aired and filmed and everything, that you've almost kind of changed your tune as for what you think you did in regards to kind of like partially like overselling, underselling. So do you want to kind of like, is there anything that you think, like, what do you think was the number one thing you did wrong that led to you losing now that everything's out? Because I know you have a lot to say.
That's a good question. Well, I obviously take the chance to look back and rewatch and see. I've watched the Final Tribal Council a couple of times now, and I never actually ever saw a chance in which I identified any overselling. So I'd love to hear from others if they would like to provide examples of such, because I was not able to identify anything on the final edit. But I don't think it's anything as much as about doing anything wrong. I think I presented my case. I've written speeches for senators that have been put on at professional events and hearings. I've testified in front of groups before, so I'm very comfortable in that space. So I think a lot of people were just shocked as what my final tribal would look like. And I think I'm really proud of what it was. I don't think I did anything wrong leading up to that moment. Maybe there's like a few minor tweaks I do up to that point, but I hold my game in high regard. So um okay with how it went. I've never been really I don't really care about the jury's vote. I didn't the first time, didn't the second time. It's how we play for ourselves. At least I do. I kind of use this as like a testing lab, a mixing pot to just throw everything together and see what I can come up with. So I was able to do that. I threw everything I had in there and I'm really proud of what I walked out with. And who cares if other people see it if I could see it in myself.
All right, well, it's good for you, Vince. I'm glad that you're satisfied with the second place finish because I know that's, I mean, to be fair, you also got another vote than I did. I see Ben's reaction. That's not how I meant it, Ben. But
How it came
no,
off.
Vince, I think you played a very strong game, Vince.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Steve, do you have a question for Vince?
No, to parrot what you were saying, I do believe, Vincent, for you to play the fantastic game that you played in back-to-back seasons, I thought that was fantastic because I mean, not many people in this call tonight uh haven't been with the early birds. You're one of few people in this call that hasn't been in a podcast with us, and that really goes to show like how good you are at these games that we play and that we host. And yeah, I'm just curious how this all started. And you can go back as far as you may like, but I'm just curious. This character that you've created, it's been a very interesting character for our show, as far as somebody who is, like you were the puppet master in Second Chance, but you seemed very innocent and you seemed kind of nonchalant in some of the moves that you were making and just trying to play the dumb role. And I just want to say, I'm curious as to how you crafted this role that you've made and how proud you are in the success of the character you've created.
don't think it's a character. I don't come to these things with personas or like hats to wear to pretend to be someone on camera. I'm here to play the game. So I just come in as myself, and that's the self that I bring. I think people that have hung out with me outside of this can testify. That's just how I actually am. Um, it's just a thing of just being yourself and being out there. And I'm used to people seeing me as dumb and like underestimating me. I've been surrounded. Grew up in a town that told me I was dumb my whole life. So it wasn't even like I've just been very fortunate to live a life where I don't really care what other people think about me. And I can kind of bring it to a game, and I can walk away from a game and not care what other people think about me either. So um, I don't know. It's not a character. It's just me being me.
Fantastic answer. Thank you.
Do you
Yeah,
feel like the
Vince.
person you played as throughout the game was the same as you showed up at Final Tribal?
No. Well, it's the same person. As I said, there's different sets of Vincent when I'm professional, when I'm testifying, when I'm performing speeches, when I'm delivering addresses. It's like you have to switch your cadence that you speak with. And I really wanted to show that different side of Vincent and show a more professional side to show the difference between the ooh, which wasn't disgenuine, but it was accentuated versions of myself, if that makes sense. So I do like to drop the wall and just be as like right on direct as possible. It's overcompensating in both regards. I'm twisting the needle a little bit farther to see a little bit sillier, a little bit more underestimated. And then when we're at Final Tribal, I want to appear as professional as possible and talking up as possible. So a more professional side of Vincent. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and we call it a drag character, so some might call it a character, but that's okay. Different opinions.
Yeah, it's semantics, but it's where your characters are extensions of ourselves, right? I mean, you would call your drag persona an extension of yourself, I hope, and I think that's
Sure,
great. So,
but still a character.
All right, can I ask
okay,
this, Vince? So I just want to ask
yeah.
you this, Vince. So obviously you won the final challenge of the season. It
Mhm.
obviously was a very easy vote for Maris. And this is something I kind of want to just get from some of the jurors that we have here. If you didn't vote off Maris, and if it's not Maris, would you have gone for Dan or Maddie? I think I know the answer. I just kind of want to hear from you.
If I did not vote off Maris,
Yeah, if
oh,
say you,
I think I'd vote
Maris.
myself off before I vote Maris off. What? So,
No, okay, so say,
Let's pretend Maris won immunity. I think that would
yeah,
work better, Richie.
yeah, so say
um,
Maris wins immunity. Who do you go after then, Vince?
well, I know I lose the game. I know anyone else in the game loses the game. So I would just try to get my friend a
Well,
little
not
bit
anyone.
further. So I would take Maddie a little bit further. That's
Okay,
just my
so you
opinion.
probably would vote off Dan then.
Yeah, not for any strategic or reason. I just played the game closer to Maddie. I'd want to see her succeed. I guess it could have been strategic, like if I vote Maddie, y'all should vote me to win. But come on, I
Okay,
would just
now I just want to ask this. So they say in this hypothetical situation, Dan, you're now on the jury. So Dan, Ben, Will, Kayla, Nick, say this final three happens. How many people would actually have voted for Vince if he's against Maris and Maddie? Raise your hand.
I would have voted Maris no matter what.
would have given. I wouldn't even try to speak. I would vote
I
Maris
would have
too.
asked Dick what he thought I should do and then done that. And that's all you're getting out of me.
Okay, well, it looks like you made the right choice voting her off then, Vince. As if that wasn't obvious.
Dick wanted to vote Vincent actually, so maybe not.
All right. But no, Vince, you did play a very strong game, especially like you said, being underestimated. I think it's a
Thanks.
very powerful thing in this game with a whole thing with perspective is a big thing. I've even said since my first season's reunion that you never know what's really going on. You only know what you're able to see. So I definitely agree with that. And I will say to you and Maddie, who I'm going to get to next, that you both are the ninth and 10th people in our entire series who have made Final Tribal twice. And the fact that you both did that within a 3-season span, I think is an incredible thing to do for you, for both of you guys, first off, really for anyone to do. So, congrats to that. If you guys want to clap with me for them, it's impressive. Yeah, Maddie, I see you laughing. What do you think? What do you think about that stat you got?
I mean, I don't know if it means quite as much making it to 2 final tribals and only getting 1 vote to win. So, maybe Vinny can answer that better.
Is that parrying it back to me? I mean,
Yeah, that's why I nodded.
I don't think the stat alone means anything to me because I think there's a way to play the game to do. You could easily reach that stat by just doing nothing the whole time, sitting around. So, but the way I think me and Maddie did it, I think we should both be really proud of both of our games. So I am proud of what it's informing that stat, but I'm not proud of a stat just as a line on a resume.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. No, that's interesting. I mean, I always thought that's a pretty strong stat to have, but I mean, if you guys don't think that's strong enough, I mean,
No,
I won't
I
complain. I won't complain.
we understand it. It is certainly something that both of them are proud of course. And I guess to pair this into my question for Maddie, I guess looking back at the season as a whole, what is something you can look back on in that final tribal council part of the final episode and say, okay, maybe I should have said this differently, maybe I should have owned this or done that. What are your thoughts, Maddie? How do you think you could have maybe walked away with more votes there?
That's a good question. Honestly, I don't think there's anything I really would have changed. I think like I spoke to the moves I made and I kind of, I don't know, did all that I could. I was proud of the game that I played throughout and I like still stand by that. But at the end of the day, like the votes fell where they fell. I'm like, that's okay. I'm still proud of the game that I played and stand by the moves I made and everything that got me to final. So nothing I would have changed.
Yeah, well said.
yeah, thank you, Maddie. And another thing I do want to say, Maddie, you basically got to the end of two very recent seasons, both being very interesting seasons in terms of gameplay, with really some of the I don't want to say the toughest players strategically, but definitely some of the top tier players we've seen the last
We
few
could say there were
seasons.
some tough strategic players in Maddie's season.
Maddie, I do want to ask you this. Which season do you think was harder for you to get? I mean, because you are one of the players who did kind of have around, I don't want to say around the same game, but you were able to have a lot of luxury of being able to play a very solid game both times you played and also get to the top three. So, kind of with your spot, which do you think was harder, New Blood or Second Chance for your game?
Um, that's a good question. Honestly, I didn't know what LRGs were at all until I got cast the first one. I think like coming in with like a really low like threat level, like I was truly such a new face where like people recognize Maris, people recognize even Kira, people recognize John and Taylor in season 7. I was like a kind of a free agent that people wanted to maybe work with more. And then the second time around, I mean, everyone was a threat to me. And I don't think necessarily making it to final try, but like you saw Dick talk about it, like he even was like, we should just bring Maddie because she only got one vote last tribal. I don't think like anyone really took a lot of that into consideration. I don't know. I think both were pretty even for me. I didn't like think too hard. I kind of, like Vincent said, like I kind of just show up as me and play as me. So I didn't think a whole lot about like rearranging strategy. You just got to adapt to the people. That was the biggest part.
Okay, thank you
Maddie,
for the
was it
answer.
harder to play against Dick or Nathalie?
I didn't play with either of them, to be honest. So, but yeah, that's funny.
Okay, I want to throw that question back to Vince, and then we'll talk about our first couple of fan awards. So, Vince, again, kind of same question just asked Maddie. You are one of the people who recently just played 2 of our 3 recent seasons, made final travel in
Mhm.
both of them. Which would you say was harder for you, Second Chance or Calm versus Chaos?
That is an easy question. I think 8 was a walk in the park. We got to the end. I had my group in the end. I flipped on the group, and every time I would subtly put a name, that name would be implemented. It felt super easy. It felt super clean. I was super proud of myself walking out of it. But compared to this one, even though this game was rough, bumpier, more controversial, this game was messier in so many ways for me. I really enjoyed that. I like the challenge, the strife, and playing with so many, I don't want to say better, but I think the strategic capabilities was more dynamic in this game than it was in the first one, where it was just two clear cut sides going back and at it with each other. So I did have a much more difficult time with the second one, and in a way that I think was more engaging for me. I think my game in the 8 was much better than the game in 9, but I'm much more proud of the game I played in 9 than the game I played in 8 for the same reason. I love my messy, controversial, silly game. It doesn't make much sense to many, but makes sense to me. So I have so much self-certainty in that. I'm proud. I hope everyone is too. I hope Maddie is. I hope everyone is. I hope everyone walks away with self-certainty in what they did. And it doesn't matter what the result is really. Truly, the result does not mean anything. I've won some of these games before. It means nothing to me compared to losing. And seriously, like I cannot tell you.
What about Big Brother?
That's what I'm saying. Like Big Brother, I don't think about ever. And I won that one. But like I'll think about a losing game way more
How
than
did you
that.
win it? By betraying your friends.
Yeah. And I'd do it again. You would do it too for a check.
There was no check in that game.
It's a meme. It's like the meme. I was employee
Okay.
and I was gonna be employee month on period.
Okay, so I want to talk about a couple fan awards that I'm going to talk about now. I kind of want to save some of the big ones for later on. The one I want to talk about first is the best episode title. This first one, again, kind of very clear what it is. It's what title that the people who voted on believed was the best episode title of the season. And I think it may have been a clear run because it looks like it was episode 9's title, You Want to Be a Girl Who Poops or a Bitch Who Shits, was the fan vote for that one. So, Will, good for you for that.
Brought to you by Brain Rot and TikTok. You are welcome.
There's also another couple of other ones I want to talk about as well. The first one being the best challenge, which again, I think this was a very clear favorite among the viewers because the best challenge award for this season goes to Steal the Bacon, the pre-merge challenge, which I think a lot of us remember that one, right?
My shirt is still ruined from that game.
I could never forget. Those jeans will never be the same.
I
My
wasn't
sweatpants
even
are
there
also
for that challenge.
broken.
Neither was I.
I pulled my back on the cameras. I don't know how y'all felt. Man, I was in pain.
All right, the one last award I want to go to for now, and then I'll reveal a couple more later on. So the best moment award for this season. It was a very close one between two of them. The one that got second place was Kira's Idol Crawl, as I'll call it. The winner of the best moment award was Amaris finding the idol in the voting box at the final 5 and then subsequently playing it. So congrats to you, Amaris. You kind of get that award for best moment.
Woohoo! My big idol play. My only correct idol play.
And I'm kind of glad. Right, and I mean, it actually brings me a perfect segue to go talk about you now, Amaris, because obviously you were kind of seen as one of the biggest players of the season, where you had a pretty big reputation on your back, not just from outside allergies, but also because in New Blood, you didn't really get the chance to play. You were kind of seen as the Charlie Brown of that season in New Blood because you just, everything that kept going wrong.
Not Charlie Brown, bro.
Charlie Brown. I won the challenge.
You did better than Charlie Brown. Come on now.
You know what I'm trying to say, Nurse. You know exactly what I'm trying to say.
Heard Richie. Yeah, I did get voted out twice on that one, and I didn't play too many rounds. So I get what you're saying.
Well, okay. Well, the point I'm trying to make is that you had a big reputation coming into the season, and you almost got to the end and won. And obviously, I think we just kind of proved that you would have cleared it at the end. So looking back, how everything went on, what do you think was your optimal game path to the end to actually get to the end and win? Like, what was your best path outside of winning immunities?
That I think I need to win immunities, right? Like I come in with a reputation that's hard to shake. We had just gone through a vote where I was voted unanimously. I don't think me not idling out Ben does much. Everyone had voted me before I idled out Ben. I think everyone votes for me again, even if I idle out Dan or Maddie. So I really think it gets to a point, and I know it, where I just need to win out.
You don't think there's any other path that you could have taken, like different vote offs or anything? You think it just wins immunity?
I think probably one person who was very, very loyal to me, and who I really appreciate, was Kira. So I think if Kira had been around longer, that could have helped me a little more. So maybe getting the heads up to keep Kira in the game could have helped me, but that was a full blindside on me as well.
Okay, it's interesting. Okay. Dive, what question do you have for Maris?
My question for Amaris will lead into that reputation. It's hard to explain, but some players come into these games with that sort of reputation of just being all around great in all facets of the game. And I believe Maris is a victim of that stigma in a way. And I'm asking her, like, is it cool in a respectful sort of way to like have all these people that you're playing with say, no, I can absolutely see somebody like Maris potentially going all the way and winning this game? Or do you potentially do you see that as sort of like a bad thing? And oh my God, Addie's here. Hello. Hey, Addie. Kind of caught me off guard there. Addie, do you have anything to say?
About what?
Stay the line.
I'm sitting on the curb right now, smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
There you go. Hell yeah.
The people I played Survivor with. I'm supposed to be in a Zoom meeting, but I couldn't go.
Eddie, you can mute yourself.
Wait. I think Dive, you still asking Maris a question?
Oh my God.
Oh, absolutely. There's the old adage of the inmates running the asylum, and that's practically what this is here. So I gotta say thank you, Richie, for keeping me on the rails here. Thank you for all of our guests for making it tonight. My question for Maris is, how do you walk back such a big reputation like that and try to downplay yourself into saying, no, like you can go further in this game. You can absolutely trust me. And it absolutely makes sense to keep me in the game.
Yeah, I think the reputation can sort of be a double-edged sword, right? I think for a while it keeps me in the game because people use me as a shield. And it means that I will probably stay at least until merge, which is really great. And I try to make myself useful up until merge as well, with puzzles and being an asset to the team. And then from there, it's just making sure that I've built enough alliances to continue further than that, and hoping that I can rely on other skills to get me far enough. But I think here it's a special circumstance where these were all returning players who knew me, and that's not the case for every game.
Yeah, Vince, I see you have your hand raised. Is there anything you want to kind of say in response to that?
Yeah, totally. I can't speak as much to other games that Maris may have played. She probably knows better. But when she said that the reputation hurting her, I do agree. I mean, we knew you were a great player walking in, but at least on the early pre-merge, I can't say anytime anyone was like, "Oh, let's use Maris as a shield. That'd be perfect." I think you really did do a great job at building these social bonds, and I think anyone just thought they had a genuine bond with you. So honestly, you can say like you can say you're a Suri if you want. Like you have this big like target walking in, I guess, just being a great player, but as soon as someone meets you, it's missed and everyone falls for it.
That's very kind of you. Thank you,
So
Vincent.
yeah, I want to give yourself more credit than saying like, oh, I was a shield because I first attention. It was your
Suri
gameplay.
wishes she could do puzzles like Amaris.
You haven't seen me on the balance beam though, so.
Alex is gonna love this series talk. But I will think Alex will also like to hear some of this. Like you have a very specific title for yourself now, Ben. You keep changing it. You have a very specific LRG Hero of the Year, Ben.
Wait, you're speaking to me? Finally!
Yes. No, I just spoke to the
Finally!
other Ben in here. Yes, I'm talking to you.
Yeah, what about it?
Yeah, what do you want to say about it? You seem to have a lot of thoughts right now.
Well, I think Survivor is a game that preys on people's tendencies to be the hero in their own story. And I think that I'm actually the hero of this whole story. So that's why my name is that. Will, you look like you have something to say, Will? Will, would you like to say something?
You're just saying a bunch of bullshit as usual. It's nothing else that's new. So I'm
Oh,
just
I mean bullshit that you believed the entire season.
I didn't say that I didn't, but now I've learned from my mistakes.
Mhm.
Ben, can I
Richie,
ask
what's
you
your
this?
question? Of course.
So I just want to follow up of that. Ben, so you think you were the hero of the season?
No, I'm the LRG Hero of the Year.
Really? Who gave you that title?
Myself.
Oh, okay. So we're self-anointing titles now. In that case, I'm a 4-time winner then.
Yeah.
Ben, obviously you played a very strong game. I don't know where he went. I assume he's still here.
Don't worry, I have him right here. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, I see. Ben, okay, there we go. Now Ben's back.
My fucking
Ben,
my computer went to sleep.
no, all good. Ben, you played a strong game throughout the entire season. I think it definitely kept you safe, especially as again there were a lot of talks about you, both good and bad, throughout the season. Ben, now seeing everything that happened in the game, how some people got, how you may have gotten got, or how you got other people. Do you think with your ideal final three, and he's gone again on my screen? Oh, Ben.
Sorry, guys. Okay, I'm actually back now.
Oh, you're
I'm
good.
locked in.
You're
Ask
good.
your question again.
Okay, so Ben, do you think you win? Do you think there's really many cases of you winning in the end or not? Because I feel like during the season airing, you were saying no, but then the moment of the season, like filming, you were very adamant that you were going to win if you got to the end. So I kind of want to hear now that you've had some time since the finale. Do you think there's a big path for you to win at the end? And if so, who is it with? And what do you think you have to get to that
Is
point?
the question who can I win against or how can I get there?
Both.
Well, the question who I win against, I think by the time that we got to I think after what happened at Final Seven, I like to think I had a pretty good chance against anybody. I think between me and Amaris, it's pretty close. I think against anybody else, call me self-serving, call me cocky. I don't see a mathematical scenario where I don't beat anybody else that I'm possibly sitting with, just based on my personal perception of how the jury felt, who would have been there. I think between me and Amaris, it would have been really close, and she totally could have won and deserved it. Everybody else,
That's not
not
what you texted me yesterday.
well. Will, why don't you put them on the screen then? I still think I could have beat her, but I think she probably gives me the closest fight, and that's the truth. In terms of getting there, I felt that the whole point of what happened at Final Seven was to put every single person in the game except for me on an island, right? Will has just voted for Amaris. They're both still in the game. Vincent and Maddie have just voted for Kira. They've not voted together with Dan. They've not voted with Will. They've not voted with Amaris. At that point, I genuinely thought, maybe I'm delusional, I thought I had a pretty clear path. You know, I obviously Maris finds the idol and plays it correctly, which is a good play on her, but I had the votes to make it past Final Five, even after pulling off what I consider to be the best move of the game. I love SpongeBob. I love puzzles. I have a great memory, and I love running. And Vincent said he might have had a tough time voting me off, and Maddie wanted to bring me to the end. So unless Dan wins immunity, which all love in my heart, you're definitely not winning that challenge. I had a chance, but
Okay.
didn't happen, and Dan won the season. So
I played New York Times Pips against you every day, and you always lose.
Oh, do you
really
want to talk
thought
about the
could
other day
beat
when
me
you
up.
got 17 minutes on the hard pips?
Yeah, because I have a jab, and I was doing the jib. I win the
You have a
puzzles every
pip.
day. Ben was not going to beat me in that puzzle.
I beat him in Tango
so
today. Anyone play
let me
LinkedIn
ask-
games?
You did
Tango?
not beat me in Tango today.
Ben, let me ask you this. So let me ask, and then I'll give Saib some time to ask some questions for you, Ben. But Ben, did you just say before that you think you could beat Maris in a final tribal?
I do. After what happened at Final Seven, I do.
Okay.
I'm not blowing her out of the water, and it's not like I'm gonna win 100% of the time. It'd be a great fight. Me and Maris have spoken about this.
Okay,
so we can do whatever here, but we also don't know. Like, do I still play an idol? Like, I think it's so we don't know. It's the hypothetical.
Okay, well, can I just ask this? So Dan, Vincent, Maddie, Will, Kayla, Nick. Okay, so if you guys would vote for Ben over Maris, if it's like a final two situation, then this season, raise your hand.
Well, we don't know what the
We don't
I'm
know.
acknowledging that I was biased.
It depends.
I was going to vote Ben as a friend.
I mean,
move.
if it's
Okay,
like
that's fair.
the same games that we saw, I would vote Maris. But if Ben is in those last rounds, it could be completely different. I mean, depending on how the game.
I think that's
plays
what
out.
Maris is trying to say. Yeah, and I agree.
And also I don't know what the pitches would be at Final Tribal too, which like maybe one is able to better explain their game than the other.
Alrighty.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Stab, what question do you have for Ben?
I think that was a fair question for him, and honestly, as Ben has explained himself, he played a great game in his own ways, and I think it's absolutely fair to assume that had he made it to Final Three, he could have gotten votes, potentially could have won the game. And Ben, ultimately, that can be summed up in one four-letter word that we've heard all throughout the live chats. It is your mist. And I'd like to ask you, what's the origins of the term mist, and how proud are you that it's been able to stick on like it has?
Oh,
Oh,
so
this
I'm
is good.
actually no, I'm actually not gonna be. I'm not gonna do the bit here. I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. Because Vincent is so persuasive and so dangerous in these games and needs to be targeted every time. It was actually Vincent's idea. Vincent came up with Mist first. I'm not gonna take credit where credit's not
All right.
due. That being said, everybody pay attention to how much it caught on. It even tricked me, who has a lot of Mist myself. And just make sure that you don't let Vincent go far in any other game.
The worst. You're the worst. I'll say that it started in season 8 when we had to credit the great player Linda Kaplan, who has undeniable mist. I will say. I'm serious too. It was her mist.
Fair enough.
She's
And
the
hey,
Twitter stan character.
thank you for throwing credit where credit was due. Thank you,
It
Vincent.
is all Vincent though. I can't. I'm not. I can't lie about that. I care.
Thank you, but I know it's hard for you to acknowledge when you steal my jokes.
I know. I know. It is really difficult. I appreciate you having my back in this.
Ruth says she's done with the mist, so let's end the mist.
Oh, okay. Then it was all Ben's idea. It was Ben's idea the whole time.
Oh wow, wow! This and once again, look, he just switches up on a dime. You can't trust it.
So you two must have had a lot of fun in second chances. Then
we did. We did have a great time, actually.
I don't know how much we played with each other. It was hard. We were trying to stay apart for quite some time.
I mean, it was tough when he threw out my name at 906.
Okay, whatever. But it was fun. I had a good time playing with others.
Okay, Will, speaking of Final Six, Will, you got pretty close, as we kind of saw, and I think we even talked about this on the breakdown we had for your boot episode, that you got pretty close to cracking it past a little, I don't want to say close, but you were somewhat close, I think, to getting past the boot round. I think you just had to convince a couple of the right people, and unfortunately, you just couldn't. Not seeing everything that went on after your vote off, how do you think that would have panned out for you now that we actually have seen everything? Because I think we did talk about this a little bit about how you think you possibly, like, if you would have won, if you could have won.
Yeah, coulda, shoulda, woulda. I mean, if I had found that idol, I see a path to the end. And I do think that I'm not saying I win, but I think I could have eaten up a tribal. But I don't. Once the game's over, I move on with my life. I'll give people shit, and it's all for the drama. Kayla, if you wanna fight at reunion, let's do it. Because she's one of the reasons that I had such a big target on my back. But other than that, as Kayla said herself, I play so many of these that I'm on to the next one already. I have one lined up soon, so my win's coming. I'm patient. I'm kind.
Do you want to give a teaser for that?
No, you'll just have to wait and see.
That's fair. That's fair.
Everyone say good luck, Will. 14th time's a charm.
We'll get there eventually.
Well, I won't be
I'm
there.
just kidding. We need to wake it up. We have to wake it up.
It's fine. I'd rather not get there at all than continue to get there and keep losing, but that's just me.
Sorry, I was getting text the reunion was boring. We gotta spice it up.
Yeah, somebody in the
I'll bring
chat said the
puppets
reunion
next
was
time.
boring, and despite this top row giving our best effort to make it interesting.
But yeah, I think that this is y'all are tired of hearing this, but I always make it to about this point. So I know that if I don't win or idle my way there, it's not happening. Do I think that I could have gone farther had I not taken the shot at Maris? Sure. I think that there's a world in which Maris and I work together and realize we have to be with each other till final tribal, otherwise we're both screwed. But my version of second chance was last time, aside from coming for Atticus, I played very safe. I wanted to go with the majority as much as possible. This time I wanted to be on an island as much as I had to. I was willing to do whatever I had to play my game and not play other people's games, which is the mistake I made at the merge in or the swap in 7. So I have no regrets. I change my game every time I play, and I think I did what I needed to do for this cast in this situation. So I'm content.
That's good or content.
Awesome.
Yeah, because obviously you got very close to a similar placement as last time, just missing the merge by one round.
Yeah, when Maris beat me in the battle back, this is apparently a continued theme.
I mean, I was gonna let you talk about it, but yeah, no, I mean, I was definitely surprised to see you almost go out pre-merge again, because I was definitely assuming that you were gonna get to the merge very much with ease. And so definitely a difficult path for you, just starting with the swap and everything. Kind of like, now that you've seen everything, what are kind of your thoughts now that you saw everything? Because I remember there was a lot that we talked about during that recap we did and after as well with that whole thing.
Sorry, I feel like this is Dick's jury question. Can you repeat that and just I'm a little bit lost. I just want to make sure I understand your question right.
No, I was trying to get you to talk more about like you pre-merge, you post-merge, everything Bally way back in the game. Like,
Yeah, I mean, if I'm following you right, I've been pre-merge enough times that it it doesn't shock me. It's not like I think I'm as big of a target as some people do, but Kayla's missed. She wanted to play into Nick's paranoia and she did it perfectly. I mean, hats off. She did a great job. Um, I I don't know. I mean, I got. I don't. There's really not too much to say. But I'm proud of myself that I won Battleback. Despite my memory, I've only won a couple. I thought this was my first. Apparently not something we learned this season. My memory has fooled me more times than I realize. Uh, but um, but yeah, this was the first one. I think was luck, and one was completely social. So this one was one that was solely comp based. So that was exciting, and I think really made the first round coming out of jury or coming out of pre-jury that much more interesting with like kind of the push and pull between me and Nick and having everyone kind of go between us. So made for an interesting season.
all right, Sty, what question do you have for Will?
Um, well said, Will. Yeah, I thought you did a fantastic job with your second chance, and I feel like it's only fair to mention this person, considering we've already mentioned them a few times with your answers, and arguably the two of you were probably two of the best rivals of the season. So I guess this really opens up a question to both Will and Kayla, and the question is, why couldn't y'all just get along, and how come y'all ended up working so hard to get each other out?
Alex, I've asked myself that question the entire season, and I'm gonna be so honest. I felt so icky being mean and targeting such an honest player, but I'm just really glad that he was able to win his first battle back. So I was told. So if anything, like I'm so remorseful, but you won that first battle back and you came back and made my life 10 times harder. So thank you for persevering and being that knight in shining armor.
I really appreciate that, Kayla. And it seems like Kayla is avoiding to mention that there was some feelings about a past game that we might have played together, and that is why I was
Name it and
targeted.
claim it. Survivor Byron.
Redacted.
But
Confidential.
Cut the feed, cut the feed.
we don't need to get into the details of that game. We can focus on this game. But yeah, I think that as I've said before, I play enough of a chaotic game. So I need players like a Maris or a Kira or a Dan or a Nick to balance me out. Kayla and I are just I think two chaotic players in an alliance, it's just too much. So that was my reason I needed her to go. And she beat me to it. Again, hats off. But my goal was if I could vote for Nick, I can play more of the chaos that I thought no one knew I was doing, and hide behind this like I'm honest. But she beat me to it. So power to her.
Well said.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so Will, I kind of want to just ask another question from the Queen of Odyssey here.
Oh my gosh,
That
the Will show.
This is the last question I'm asking you, then I'm moving on. But no, Will, I also want to ask you this about rivalries because it seems like this season you had a lot of game rivalries, whereas New Blood you just had you versus Atticus. This season it felt like you had you versus Nick, you versus Kayla, all sorts of other ones. And I kind of want to know, like, was that your intent to kind of come in, have a lot of game rivalries and all of that, like for the fun of it, or like what do you think was going on with that the entire time?
I mean, it helps that I lasted longer. In season 7, I was in two tribals, and one of which Atticus tried to push my name, so I really didn't have a choice. This time, sure, yeah, I came in, I wanted to have a big fight. That never happened. The opportunity just didn't present itself. That was all for TV if I had the opportunity, but this time I think I felt similar to season 7, is that I fought when I felt like I was in a corner. I felt like when I came back, I was the paranoia that I pushed me and Nick, and I was like, everyone's going to talk about us. So having talked with the cast, it seemed like that wasn't going to be the two names necessarily. I've just kind of pushed that narrative because I was paranoid. Kayla, that was petty because she got me. So, obviously I knew we weren't going to work together, so I had to get her back. I don't really know if I had any other rivals this season, but that's just kind of how I play. Is if you're going to come for me, let's go, let's battle it out. Um, but they were the only two that tried it.
Okay, I wasn't gonna go on with you, but I kind of want to ask this now because you brought it up with you going after Kayla for like a tit for tat type of situation. Do you think that ended up kind of ruining your game, getting rid of Kayla, or do you think that it probably helped you more than it harmed you in the long run?
I think it helped me because while there's still a question of whether Kayla was intentionally missaying what I said or if she misunderstood me and she was being honest, it was helpful for me to not have people misrepresent what I was saying. I think the rest of the cast clearly understood when I had made a point what it was, and so helped it helped me moving forward. I just
All
don't
right,
think there's a
perfect.
world in which Kayla forgives me for Byron and that we work together, so it was helpful for me to get rid of her.
Byron.
All right, all right. Thank you, Will. That brings me up to the next person I want to talk to, Kayla. Kayla, hi. We've been talking a bit about you the last couple minutes. So, hi, Kayla. Good to finally see you on camera again.
How are you?
I'm good, Kayla. How are you?
I'm doing so well. I really did want to reframe the rivalry between Will and I, and
Okay,
something
yeah,
that
go on with that first.
Oh, I meant reframe it in game to not mention any games that shouldn't be named, but I was thinking like should it be framed as like a diva off? Should it be framed as in like a fight over Nick? Because I would you can see that I'm possessive about a lot of the players that I play with. And I just really like the way that it panned out. I think Will and I can be foils of each other. You see Kira kind of being his rock, whereas you've seen in the past maybe Jamil has been my rock, maybe Jimmy's been my rock before. So I just really like how Will and I seem to be parallel players. But with that being said, there can only be one diva in the room at all times. So I think that that's the point where we butted heads. And maybe in past games that may or may not have happened, that was also the case. So um and also now that I brought up that game, there was a mom involved in that past game. And had I been more in the loop, I would have more closely aligned with that mom because, I'm supposed to be your mom's favorite player. And so when I'm not informed about what your mom's doing these days, I just get really sad. So I think Will tugged on the one heartstrings that would have gotten me offended and sad that I was left out at. And he's right. Maybe I wouldn't have forgiven him in game, but I did see that he was quick to forgive Nick during the vote out. And I just wanted to ask Will, like, why were you so quick to forgive Nick in being voted out? Did you think that he had more of like a puppeteering with that than I did? What was the reason that you kind of seemed to save face in front of me? And was that real? Was that genuine?
I am, it's in game, so I'm all back game, right? And as I said a couple minutes ago, Nick, I saw working for my game. You did not. Um,
Okay.
I adore you. I even said in my voting booth when I voted you out, like, don't come for me, but I still love you. That was genuine. I think you're a great person. I think you're a great player, but I don't know if I see our games aligning.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that. But again, same sentiment. I adore you and I love the personas that both of us play, but sadly, neither of them line up like that. But it was fun. And I think we made for a great season.
I
All right,
agree.
so Kayla, I want to ask you this as well because obviously I think you were part of this great season because you were very chaotic throughout the last half of your game this season in a very fun way. Yeah, I saw the face you made. Still think it was a very fun chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Kayla, I just kind of want to ask you this. It's probably not going to sound the way I think it's going to sound, but what was your end goal with you being very chaotic? I kind of want to ask you, like, what was kind of like your next moves should you have survived the double tribal again?
I'd love to say that there was like a specific end goal, but I think you can kind of see that like immunities kept on slipping out of my hands this season, did not get one. I actually wore my glasses to try and find some idols like Maris did. It didn't help. Like I'm wearing them now, if that makes any difference. You could see my Rock Jamil just get completely obliterated in the first round. And I think that from there, I kind of had in my mind going into this season, like this is my route if Jamil can stay. This is my route if like Jamil isn't there. And I just knew I needed to like beep shit up kind of thing. That's so funny. Like I censored the one bad word, but I needed to fuck shit up if I stayed. And so I think that was the mentality I kept the entire season. And I didn't let up. I think I always ask for feedback after every game I play. Will gave me good feedback. Some other mentors gave me great feedback. And so rather than find what resonated with me and play that way the entire season, you can see Jimmy and Trinity say that on the pod is that like I tried to do everything all at once because I didn't have that one rock person to be like, yes, I'll work with you. And this is the narrow direction that we're going to take. So you can kind of like see me throwing darts everywhere, just seeing what will stick every single round. And so, yeah, I don't know what my end goal was. I think it was just to try and be covered from all sides, but Kira clocked me on that. A lot of people clocked me on that, and it just crumbled. But I learned my lesson, if that means anything. But I was having fun with it.
I'm glad you had fun. Yeah, it was fun watching you, Kayla.
Thanks.
Yeah, so this next question I have is for you, Kayla, and Dan, you can chime in on this as well, and then I'll pass it to Sty. First question for you. So, Kayla, calm versus chaos. There is a lot of talks, not full on, but somewhat of you and Dan being seen as a bit of a duo throughout all that season. And then before you voted off Dan. And then this time around, Dan has your life in his hands. He saves you one round. 10 minutes later, he cuts your throat in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of want to see if you two want to like talk into that right now about the status of kind of you two in terms of the game.
I just want to say for the record, and like I was talking to Will about this on the ride to Byron of like, Dan is not very good at Survivor. I'm like, Dan does not know
The
what he's
game I drove her to, by the way.
I'm like, Dan doesn't know how to play this game. I'm like, he literally came in with his wife's like bridesmaid and didn't include her in any of his plans the entirety of game. I'm like, either he hates women or like he hates Jules or like he doesn't know how to play this game. And I think he loves women. So I'm like, he just must not know how to play. So I'm sorry, Dan, for underestimating you. But you won the season, so you did great. And Will, you're crazy for not calling me out of like, actually. Dan's like awesome, but I'm glad it was like all under the scenes. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, Will didn't call you out in person, but he did tell me about that conversation. But it's
Yeah.
okay because we saw as Will got voted out, he said the exact same thing you were saying. Felt like I don't understand Dan's game. So, I mean, I don't know. He doesn't have much room to throw you under the bus for that. But as far as this game is concerned, I mean, we started on opposite tribes after swap, still we're on opposite tribes. I figured I had that conversation with you and Nick at Merge about, Pink Tribe staying together. That just wasn't the way I saw the game playing out for me, and we never got to really talk. And I mean, I think you're probably mad at me a little bit for pushing Nick afterwards, since you were then throwing my name before the challenge I won immunity in, but it's all good. As far as actually voting you out, that was because at that point, the other name for the second round of Double Tribal was Maddie and Vince instantly pushing for a blindside of Amaris, which I knew she had her idol because I saw her find it, and we had just made our alliance together too. And I wasn't ready to cut Amaris yet. So I knew the easiest one to get everyone on track to vote for would be you, since we had talked about you prior. And so during the live tribal, I made sure really Will was willing to go either way. We were sitting right next to each other and we kind of went back and forth on who we should vote for. And we were like, okay, we'll go Kayla. And we knew that Maris and Kira would vote with us for that one. So you were the easy fallback one to make sure that we could stay for another round and, vote out those bigger threats later on. So it wasn't anything personal. We just
That's
didn't
great
get to talk
clarity.
to each other.
I get it. I love Trinity's comment in, I forgot what it was, but she said on why you won. And she's like, duh, Dan has friends. And I'm like, that's so funny, Trinity.
Everyone here has friends.
You're like, Trinity, everybody has friends.
And
All right, there we go. All right, that's perfect. I love that answer, Kayla. Thank you. Sty, what question you have for Kayla?
I guess we've asked a lot of questions about how the game went, and I think it's fair to ask a question about something that we don't know yet, and that's the results of the awards. Kayla, considering you are the incumbent fan favorite of the previous season, I'm curious, how proud are you of your second chance season, and do you think it resonated well enough to potentially win fan favorite back to back?
I don't know. I think I wear that crown with pride. Ben taught me that, and so we'll see if my miss lingers. I don't know. I'm proud to give the crown to some of the really strong personalities in this season, and it sounds like every single season coming on Survivor Wisconsin proceeding is going to have really strong personalities, and I love watching it even on the TV side. So we'll see who wins.
Yeah,
Awesome. Thank you.
we'll get to those awards in a little bit. Just one question before we start going to a couple more of the fan awards. Now, and Maddie, you can help with this one too, actually. So Kayla and Maddie, obviously the merge round, Nick goes out, but there's one hinky vote thrown out for Maddie for you, Kayla. And that seemed to kind of stir the pot a little bit on your end. Was there any conversation during the game, after the game, about that vote for you two? Or I kind of want to hear about that.
I'd love to hear. I think that was an awesome move by Maddie. I want to hear her end.
Um, you see me talk about it in the in my confessional a little bit. Like, I truly didn't really think my vote mattered all that much, and I don't know, kind of just wanted early to like have something on my resume. Um, Kayla was just such a like no one was gonna vote for Kayla, I think like truly ever in the game unless it was like Will said like a backup vote. Like you were friends with everybody. It was such a good like gameplay, everything. It was so perfect. I was like, no one will expect it, especially coming from me. Um, as far as the like chaos that ensued after, like that was so much more like you, Kayla, and like your gameplay. I know I like tried to claim it, but like I just needed to claim something because that vote did nothing otherwise. So
No,
all props
Maddie,
to you.
literally hang your hat. Like, don't say like we get it. Like you're awesome at this game. Don't be like, I need to claim something.
Maddie, I think it helped. It really kind of helped keep you in that middle position that you were in too. Like if Nick doesn't go, like it's much more of a steamroll. The kind of even sides kind of helped you stay in the middle like you did. So give yourself credit.
But I did also confess to Will like that I voted for him in that moment and then like still was able to kind of work with him.
You're
So
missed.
my miss. But it was true. I did really want to work with Will. I didn't really want to vote him, and I just didn't think my vote mattered one way or the other. So I hope that answers your question, Rich Dog.
Wait, I have more questions on it, Maddie, because we never got to talk about it. Because during that vote, I was talking with you and Dick to try and get you to vote Nick with me. And I know in your confessionals you were saying you don't care which way it goes, but I feel like we all knew how close it was. So by voting Kayla, did you like realize that you're effectively voting for Nick to go, even though you're not writing his name down because it was like a 50-50?
Honestly, no, because everyone I talked to had a different answer, and like I think that's what was like making me the most upset. I was like talking to Ben, I was talking to you, Dan, I was talking to like Vincent, and everyone was like, "No, do this." And the next time I would talk to them, they would say something else. So I was like, you know what? I'm not do anything, and like I'll be my own free agent here. But in the end, like I don't remember who I told or not, but like if I were to vote somebody, I would have ended up voting Will, which in the end would have caused a tie. And two people, I know Dick and someone said they were gonna flip. So I did it
Is
unintentionally, like Nolan or not Nolan, Nick did go unintentionally there, but it like obviously worked out fine
Yeah.
in my gameplay.
That was me. My condition to get Dick to vote with me was to tell him I would flip with him if it were a tie
Yes,
vote.
okay.
And I was just hoping that it wouldn't get to a tie vote and that Nick would go. Sorry, Nick.
Nick, any response?
Maddie said her vote didn't matter. In my opinion, it fucking mattered. I was so
Sorry, Nick.
upset just because it was so close. You know, like one of the closest votes I think all game. And so to know how close I was to get to the next round was upsetting, but it's fine. I do applaud Maddie though. Like that was seriously a really good move to like stir up some chaos on Kayla's behalf.
All right, perfect. I love these answers so far, guys. This is a very fun reunion, right?
Guys, Nick is back from Puerto Rico, by the way.
No,
Yeah, we're
Ben, it's
happy you're
Costa
back, Nick.
Rica. What are you talking about?
All right, so I think I want to go through a couple more fan votes, and then we'll talk a little bit more to Nick, as well as some of the other people we have here. So I was actually going to do one award I was talked about before, but since Stein mentioned it a lot earlier, I'm going to wait for it now. Yeah, you're smiling, Steve. You know what I'm doing.
I missed.
Yeah, you're missed.
You're
Yeah.
missed. You're missed. You're missed.
All right, so
Richie's mind.
yes, my mind. All right, so let's go through it. The best duo. I think this is a very fun award that talks about who we all view as the best duo of the entire season. And it came down to a very close vote between Amaris and Dan and Vincent and Ben. And it came down to one vote. So the winner of this season for the best duo, congratulations, Amaris and Dan.
Thank God. Thank God.
Hold on. I want Amaris to be able to take the whatever the acceptance, but I'm just curious, why was it Vincent and Ben and not Vincent and Maddie?
I'm
That's
just
what I'm
reading what I
saying.
was given.
Yeah, that's what
I was about to say, like, I just see
Ben's
the
missed,
results here.
apparently.
I voted for Vincent and Maddie, to be honest.
How did we? I voted for Vincent.
I voted
Okay.
for Vincent and Maddie. What the fuck?
Yeah, I think it should have been Vincent and Maddie, but this one's for August 27th. Dan and I have the same birthday. So
And I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you still won it.
Also, I think I'm trying to remember, maybe my memory is wrong, but I think Tyler may also have the same birthday as us. Is that correct? Does anyone know?
I think so too. Yeah.
Okay.
He does. He does. That is
Misty
correct.
Day.
So, just for future reference, if you're playing Survivor with anyone that was born on August 27th, it's probably a good idea to vote them out.
I'll remember that for All Stars then.
Oh,
All right, so next award I want to say, best rivalry of the season. I don't think I have to talk about what this award basically means. There were a lot of very fun rivalries, a lot of fun one-on-ones we saw this season. But I don't think it should come to a surprise that from the fan vote, the winner of the best rivalry is Will and Kayla. Yeah, there's like no reaction to that except some
I was
clapping.
clapping.
Yeah.
We all knew. We expected it. Come on.
You're missed.
Too iconic.
Right. No, honestly, it was a very iconic 1v1 throughout the season that I enjoyed seeing. So once you both went out, it was kind of sad for you both because I was hoping to see what that would have looked like in the end game. But it was fun rivalry. So no reaction, Will and Kayla. Nothing from you too.
I don't know. I
want
don't
to
know if we're
see
surprised.
a universe where Will has to answer questions from Dick at Final Tribal. I think that'd be so funny. I think we
Okay,
should
so I
reenact it.
actually said if I had to answer that question from Dick, I literally would have said, I'm not answering this question. You can ask the other two finalists. I don't care about your vote. And I like at that point, I just don't have the patience. I'm sorry. I don't care. The queen of honesty.
I
Sorry.
think if I was on jury and that was Will's answer, I wouldn't listen to the rest of Final Tribal and I'd vote for him.
Wow.
So would I.
My missed.
All right, so it's actually good some more people chimed in because I got one more fan vote that I think you guys might like that I'll reveal right now. Then we'll reveal the last three after we talk to the rest of the players here. Now we have what's called the Wentworth Award, which essentially is kind of based on Kelly Wentworth, someone who notably came on to CBS Second Chance for Survivor. Notably went from, in a sense, not like a zero the hero, but kind of went from someone who was very underestimated, very much they were kind of there in their season type of name. And then they basically made themselves into such a massive name after the season ended. And that's kind of what this award is. So I don't know the rest of it, how far each player placed, but I do know the winner of the Wentworth Award. Congratulations to Dan.
Thank
I
you.
feel like no
Thank
one's
you.
yeah.
I mean, I feel like it was kind of like an award that would be set up for me since I'm one of the only people that was originally pre-merged that then, I mean, I made it as far as you can make it. So like some people wouldn't even be eligible for it. Like Maddie and Vincent having already made it to final three. It's like how much further up could they go? So I will accept the award though. I like winning things. So thank you.
Yeah, I seem to like winning things just by this season alone.
Well, I mean, of course. I'm not trying to lose.
All right, so we'll get back to the last three fan awards after we talk to the last couple people, and then we'll kind of open it up for everyone to talk. But first, I want to talk to someone who I've missed talking to a lot lately. Nick, hello. You're muted.
I know. Hi, Richie. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, Nick. How are you doing today?
Good to be back. Did you guys know I am back from Puerto Rico? Did you
Wow.
know?
Oh my God, really?
Crazy.
Nick, I think you had a very interesting path in this game, and I'll even say it's for Amelia as well. But I think you both have very interesting paths. As very early on Koa, you both were in a majority. You both had such a great standing in there. And then all of a sudden, the swap comes in, and instead of just working with each other, seeing what cracks you can find, you both immediately turn on each other. And while for some situations for you guys, it would have been the right move, as I see Amelia's laughing at me saying this. I think you both just kind of got swap screwed heavily. So, is there anything that either of you two think that, like, and I'll start with Nick, is there anything either of you two think could have changed up how that swap went to put you two in control?
That's a good question. I think if you're looking at the actual game of Survivor where things are going on days at a time, you see a 4-2 split. Maybe you have enough time to try and like see where the cracks lie. But in an LRG where we literally have 5 minutes, it's like realistically, you're not going to be able to see who's aligned with who can you backstab. So I'm curious to know Amelia's perspective as well. But for me, it was just self-implied. It was one of the two of us going. And so we had to convince the other four to vote against the other person.
Okay, so I actually have a good response for this. So when we were going into voting, and I like immediately gave my like, little speech, my little bit about like why we should vote for Nick. I did throw out Vincent's name because I wanted to like check and see how they were feeling because I could see very clearly that Will and Kira were locked the fuck in. So I knew that there was no way I was going to be able to split them up. So then I thought, okay, if I could get them against Vincent, but Kira's response was literally, no, Vincent made it a final tribal council last time, but he only got one vote. He's not a threat. Don't worry about it. So immediately was no, Vincent. And I think Will had like around the same response of just like, yeah, no, like Vincent's fine. Like we don't have to worry about Vincent. So I did feel the waters there and Will and Kira were definitely locked in, so there was no way I was gonna get them to, and they seemed more inclined towards Nick. And obviously I tried talking to Vincent as well, but it just didn't go that way.
I will say to Amelia's credit, she did tell me my name was out there as like a fake plan. And I didn't know until watching it back that it was actually a real pitch. So she did a really good job at convincing me to feel safe with her there. And I think probably the only time in the pre-merge anyone was like realistically throwing out my name. So really good job there, Amelia. Not because I'm like whatever, but because I think you played a really tough spot really well. I can't wait to see you do it again.
Yeah, I definitely would like to see. I definitely hope everyone here gets another chance to play the game. But I think we should focus on this game right here for this season because Nick, you were the first juror. You got to the jury this time, so good on you for that. Now, one thing I do know is that a lot of players, when they're the first juror of the season, people will note them as the king or queen of Ponderosa, who kind of typically will have a pretty massive saying as to who the winner ends up being because they'll have the most say, having seen a lot of the jury stuff, having the most time to talk to the jury. And I would even say I was borderline the King of Ponderosa in one of my past seasons, and I definitely was noted to have a bit of an impact on one season. So, Nick, do you think you were kind of like the King of Ponderosa, or do you think you being there was kind of the same input and influence as everyone else?
Good question. I mean, I never thought of that, so my honest answer is no. However, I think there were some moments you kind of saw when we were filming at the round table where just I had differing opinions. Like one example that stands out to me, Kayla, you mentioned when Will was driving you to a different LRG, you were like, I don't understand Dan's game. Like, he's not good at this game. But I remember speaking to you saying, like, what are you talking about? Like, he's the one behind the scenes that's like getting all these big threats out. And then lo and behold, like Final Tribal is where we actually got to see that. But I mean, that was something I was able to detect right away. I think just being able to see all of the tribal councils post merge. But hey, if you want to call me King of Ponderosa, I will take it.
That's why you had to go, Nick.
Oh, Dan, you're so
King
silly.
of lying about what happened with Anaga's idol, more like.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. Ben, I'm happy you mentioned that. So I mentioned this to Kira after the game. I was gonna be honest with just Kira. Like if she had asked me the idol situation one-on-one, I was gonna say, oh yeah, like I did see her find it and stuff. But she was asking me with literally everyone around me, and I was like, oh, this is not ideal for everyone to know that like I was responsible for her vote out. And so I just had
Yep,
to.
Nick was responsible, not me. Everyone here, everyone heard it here.
Yeah, and then remember when you got all the credit for it? Me too.
Sorry.
Anyways, so yeah, that was less than ideal. So I just had to try and play it off, which didn't really work in my favor. But hey,
There's only so much you can do in the game, though.
right. And I mean, what I think Amelia and I did get just a poor hand. You know, coming out of a 4-2 split is tricky. What was the division of the other tribe? Was it even?
We were 3-3.
Yeah, exactly. Like, still, that would have been. That's a really interesting tribal council. Obviously, like if you're
Dan, what's funny? Dan, do you want to share with the group what's funny?
I'm just laughing at Vincent's comments because he's a funny guy.
So you're pre-gaming with him,
of course.
So the pregame king, Ben. All right.
Not what the cast voted.
I don't
That's
know.
what I voted.
All right, so Sty, what question do you have for Nick?
I think it's fair to say that Nick is the king of a few things. He's certainly king of the worm. It was absolutely one of the best moments of the opening episode. Catching that worm on the entrance. So I'm glad we got to see that. That was fun. Yeah, I guess he's also the king of finding people find idols. I just think it's very ironic that that's a reoccurring theme in both your seasons now. And I'm just curious, how surprised were you?
Dude,
sorry, I'm getting caught off guard by the in Zoom call group chat. My bad. But no, I'm just curious. Like, how surprised were you that you saw that happen again, and how pissed were you that you couldn't find an idol yourself?
Yeah, well, yeah, good question. I didn't piece it together at first. I'm like, oh shit, I found Kayla find an idol, and now I found 2 other people find out. Like, wow, that's crazy. Didn't make that connection until after the game. But like, damn, guys, that's 3 advantages that I did not find. But at least I found other people find them. I mean, it was good. Obviously, it blew up my game in the first season because I was dumb and tried to get Kayla out right away. Sorry, girl. But then for this season, I loved it because for the pre-merge, I did feel really comfortable prior to the tribe swap. I felt very comfortable. I knew where the information lied. And because I had said in confessionals, like, oh, okay, Ben wants to tell me what's up. Annika wants to tell me what's up, and I can do what I want with that information. Ben finding your whatever advantage that was called, basically
shot in the dark.
Yeah, like shot in the dark. I was at that bookshelf right before you. I just didn't look into the red solo cup, but I was like, damn, I was just there. My dumbass didn't see it, but I didn't really want it anyway, so I guess that's fine.
It didn't help me.
Yeah, right.
All right, so Nick, on top of this, do you think, because obviously last season you were kind of noted to be a very paranoid player, like a solid player, but a player was seemingly paranoid, kind of throwing out your own name. This season, the last season, now that you've seen everything, do you think you've played a better game? Do you think like you've bettered yourself as a player? Do you think it's about the same? Like, what do you think about yourself as a player right now in the grand scheme of things?
Yeah, good question. I certainly do think I played a better game, but with regards to like the anxiety and the paranoia, that was something I had to really analyze while watching. And I do agree. I present myself that way sometimes when internally that's not how I'm feeling, but it doesn't matter how I'm feeling. It's how you guys interpret what's going on. So like I see it. I'm like, damn, I look like a nervous wreck right now, even though I'm not. The only time I really was feeling that anxiety was when we voted out Will, because I was still honest. I thought it was him or me. I really did. And then obviously the round right afterwards where it was once again me or Will. So but I mean, I think there's expected paranoia when there's a 4-2 split, right? And Amelia gets voted out first. So it logically makes sense of like, oh shit, like my name is next on the chopping block. So like, it's kind of hard to, be calm that whole time. So as a whole, prior to the tribe swap and like the first couple rounds, I really did feel comfortable. Felt like I played a better game. I just wish I wasn't tribe screwed.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. Okay, one last question before we move on to Amelia.
Mm-hmm.
So Vincent, Maddie, and Nick, I kind of want to ask you this. Say the merge isn't for another round. Say you guys have to do another challenge. Say you three and Kira try before you lose that challenge. What do you think happens? Is it Nick? Is it Kira? Is it Vince or Maddie?
Maddie wasn't on the tribe, bro.
Yeah, Maddie. Wait, no. It was Vince, me, Kayla, Kira.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah. You're good. That is a great question. I want to know your guys' thoughts as well. My perspective is Kayla, Vince, and I voted together to vote Will out. And so I would just try to keep reinforcing that. So then I think I would want to try and get Kira out.
I don't know if I would have gone along with it. I can't say. That's actually a really tough vote. Probably one of the toughest ones I'd have to think about this game. I don't think I would vote Kira out though. I really don't. I think I was trusted her, but I was sus of her, but I trusted her. It was sus. It was hot. It was hard. Ugh.
So then who goes out?
I don't know.
Hopefully
Don't ask me.
Vincent.
I'd vote myself. I'd give up. 3 icons. I'm not worthy.
Oh,
That's
the
it's a very tough vote.
non-answers.
I wonder. It'd come out of the decisions and discussions.
Kayla, what do you think?
I got distracted. Zerdali just joined the chat. What was the question?
Oh, because we're live.
Okay, so the question is, say the merge is delayed by 1 round. The tribe of you, Nick, Vince, and Kira have to go to tribal again. What do you do?
I made an unspoken rule to myself that I broke when I voted Amelia out. Actually, no, I voted Nick. That I didn't want to vote any girls out, no matter how easy it would have been. Just not Kira. That's all I can say. Probably.
You can say it was me. It's okay.
I honestly don't know. I don't know who would be more loyal to me, Vincent or Nick. I feel like I don't know if either of you would, TBH.
Don't vote me out, Kayla. Kayla, I didn't even vote you out when I knew Mary was playing an idol. Come on.
You did not know she was playing an idol.
Yes, I did. I said that in my voting confessional.
No, I said it in my voting confessional.
Yeah,
I think I was very clear how much I wanted to work with Kayla and Vincent. I said that very clearly to you guys. Like, I want to work with you. So I don't know.
Driver,
Three of
millennials
us
versus Gen Z.
We have 4 great friends. Why tear it apart? That's what I'm saying.
I feel like
Stop
you
playing
guys are giving me a
sadistic saw games
non-answer.
with us.
It's like
I'm
you guys
gonna
are giving me
stick
a
with
non-answer for pre-gaming purposes, but okay.
I think Nick would have been more loyal to me, and I think he would have been more forthright.
Wow.
I'm
I
so
don't think
sorry.
I don't think Kira would have gone for me though. That's what I'll say. We
I
can't say
know
the
I
same.
never know how to persuade Kira for anything. Like she's
Kira's
such
a smart woman.
I think Kira would have voted for me to go.
because
She
she's
would
like,
have. She would have
I would have
voted
been
for
for
you
it too,
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
She didn't trust me at all.
Nope.
I wonder why, but
Maybe because you were misting Annika into not using her idol.
oops.
Meanwhile, there were good people like me trying to convince her to use it.
And you
No,
failed.
that's right, because you were just
Allegedly.
I failed because
Allegedly.
I'm not good at the game. I'm not good.
Allegedly.
That's why I failed. I failed because I'm not good at Survivor.
Right.
Did
you're just an
anyone
episode
count how many times Ben went around talking about Annika teaming up with Amaris and Kira
About as many
before
times
he
as you
tried
did,
to tell
actually.
her to play her idol?
About as many times as you did.
Oh,
actually.
I should get the
I
pregame.
mentioned I had one small mention, and then there was like 5 clips of you talking to everyone on the tribe about it.
But who put the idea in my head? The winner of the season, Dan.
So you're saying I misted you?
Wait, no, Ben,
Yes,
that's not
you did
necessarily
miss me.
true.
You
But
did
I was
miss
Ben,
under
me.
that's
the
not
I'm not good at
impression.
Survivor.
I was under the
I'm not good at
impression
Ellen,
that.
actually, Ellen, that's not true.
But Ben, you said that you dramatically were outplaying me. So how could I have misted you?
Because I'm delusional and I'm not actually good at Survivor.
Wait,
Okay.
Everyone take notes.
what's happening here? Is Ben
Okay,
saying
wait.
Dan told him that Maris,
Dan
Kira,
said
and
it
Annika
first. Dan said it.
Dan
That's
did
not-
say
we,
it first.
Ben, be
Okay.
real. We scoped that out in our relationship matrix that we made prior to this
That
season,
you created on Google Docs and shared with me.
and you helped me fill
Who
in
was the
data.
biggest pre-gamer?
Let me
Vincent,
send that.
because
Let me
look at
send a
the Google
screenshot of
Doc.
that to this
Yeah,
chat.
why don't
We
you
can go
send
over
it?
that
That's a good
together.
document that you created.
Sure, I'd be glad to.
Okay, well, while you guys work on that, I want to go to Amelia. Amelia, how are you?
It's going good, honey.
Now, Amelia, this was, I believe, your second LRG you ever played, and definitely, I think a lot of people noted outside again, right, you're one of the players that came in with the most growth by the end of it. that you came out of the season seemingly to have grown the most as a player. What do you think of that whole reputation on you now?
I think that it's kind of weird because in the game, when I was playing with these people, they seem to have like known my past game and they seem to have pegged me as a completely and totally chaotic player, which I did talk like about my past game because I was trying to make them understand that like I didn't know as much as them, you know? That's what I wanted them to understand was like I was like I could tell they were such gamers and I was like I don't know as much as you guys, you know? So I was trying to like explain that, but I didn't realize they had already watched it basically. So they had me completely pegged as super chaotic. I did nothing chaotic this game, you guys. Please look at my gameplay. Tell me what I did chaotically in season 9 because I did nothing chaotically.
Nothing. She was
So
robbed.
it
She was
was
robbed.
so hard for me to go into that and to be just like my reputation just, exceeded me. And it was like, well, fuck, because I was trying to play, a different game than last time. So it's just kind of weird that it's, I've grown so much, but like it was not seen in that game in the moment for me.
So
So
robbed.
what do you think was left out then? If you said that stuff wasn't seen, what do you think was left out that you want to talk about?
No, no, I don't think there was like much left out. Like one thing that got me was when I was talking to everybody, I like knew that I was going to be going home because I could just tell with the way that they were talking to me and they were giving me advice for the next game already and I hadn't even like gotten voted out yet, you know? Like specifically Kira and Will and Vincent, they were like, "Yeah, we just try to play super honest. Like this is how we play our game." Like they were already giving me advice, you know, but I knew that I wasn't staying. So for me, that was just like, okay, yeah, like I understand. And Vincent, I literally hats off to you because you kept saying, they're talking about you, girl. Go over there, talk to them. But at that point, I knew that there was like no saving myself. So I was just kind of over it and I just let it all happen. Because then at like tribal council, like Nick even said to me, this is what really got me. Nick went, "I never got to ask you about those tattoos." And it was like, yep, that's how I knew because it was like a final, oh, hey, I'm not going to be able to ask you about that again because you're getting voted off. So, it was just kind of weird for me.
One
All
more
right, I love that.
thing is that I remember talking to Amelia like when we won the challenge prior and we were waiting, just sitting around. I remember Amelia being like, "I have a family reunion tonight at 8 p.m. I hope I can like this game ends, I can go." I'm like, "I think we're going a little later than 8 p.m." So in my head, I was like at least rationalizing like, okay, she can go to her family event still on time.
Um, there is a question I saw in the YouTube chat that I was curious about the Dab
From Shane.
Alliance. Yeah, he wanted to know
That's yeah.
specifically, Ben, would you have remained loyal to the Dab Alliance? I have my own answer to this too, but it was directed towards
Hey
you.
Dan, I'm gonna let
Yeah.
you finish, but I think it was still Amelia's interview, and I
Well,
think
it's about
Yeah.
Amelia though.
okay, lovely,
What I
go.
was
It
about
was
to ask
about
that as
Dab.
well, but yeah, you guys can
This
This is
finish.
was
Amelia's
actually
moment.
going to
You're
be
very
my
ruining. Can you
question.
please just let Amelia speak?
Can you please just let Queen speak right now?
Um, Dan actually, Amelia, fun. Dan. I'm really glad that you brought this up because Dan actually came to me and was like, "I think she's like this is fun, but she's a little bit too chaotic for my taste." And of course, to Dan's face, I was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, I agree. Oh, she's so scary." Amelia, we were so locked. We were so locked. I would have been more loyal to Amelia than to Dan, but I had no reason to get rid of either of you. The three of us were running that tribe like the Navy, so. I would have been super loyal to Dab. It was so fun. I was like, how fun is it to play with somebody I've never met before? It was awesome. Shane.
Yeah, and I actually, despite saying that, I would have remained more loyal to Amelia than to you, Ben, just because
I'm shocked.
I knew eventually I was not going to be able to, I could not trust you for the whole game, and I also, it wouldn't make sense to bring you that far along. Even though we both went pretty far along, even not really talking to each other most of the game.
Fun fact, Dan has voted me off more times than I have voted Dan off because I
That's
have
not
voted
true.
Dan off of things 0 times ever.
I did not write your name down this round. I just told Amaris that we should have your name written down if she played an idol, and she seemed to agree with
Okay,
me.
Sorry, I was
well,
talking
can I
about
cut in?
Survivor.
Can I cut in?
You also voted for me in that.
Okay, guys, let me cut in here. All right, before Stibe asks this question to Amelia, I do want to say Danny's right with this, Ben. The only vote you received this season was from Maris, because I kept stats of this as well that
Really?
I'm hoping we can eventually
I had no
release
idea.
out there. Ben, shut up, let me finish.
Yeah. This is my moment and you're really ruining it. Can you please let me speak?
No, this is my moment and you're ruining it.
I think I'm making it more interesting than anybody else.
I know, but I can also do this. Okay, anyways, yeah, no, Ben, like you only got one vote. It was from Maris. Dan actually, I don't believe ever voted you once this season. Dan and Vince also got 0 votes this season. Least amount of votes this season. So I mean, Ben, you only got 1, which isn't bad, but it wasn't from Dan.
Well, you can't get any fewer than 0.
But you can get fewer than 1.
What is the question you're asking me?
Oh, I wasn't asking you a question. I was just calling out. I was gonna let Stibe ask this question.
Oh, so you muted
me.
You muted me while you attacked my game, just like you did on every podcast this season.
Oh, honey, you haven't seen anything yet.
Mm.
Wait till season 10. Stibe, ask your question to Amelia.
It'll be pretty brief because, to be honest, my question was similar to the question that Shane asked in the chat. So thank you, Shane, for asking that, and thank you, Dan, and thank you, Ben, for also contributing as well. But yeah, Amelia, I guess to put a bow on that, how disappointed were you that you weren't able to make it farther with this alliance? Because ultimately, yeah, as somebody on production, I was having high hopes for this alliance, and I'm curious to see how you felt about these two.
Honestly, especially watching how it played out like after merge, if I got through literally that one round, I feel that I could have made it very far with Dan and Ben. I think that when I was gone, they just basically split off from each other. So I didn't really spot on camera when it happened that they just kind of split off. Like personally, I didn't see like the divide happen, but like I saw in the chat one time where it was like Amelia was the glue that held Dab together. And I mean, if you look at it, I kind of was. I think that it was weird that Ben was, still having like the little alliance with Nick and trying to pull some things with Nick. I think that would have set me off if I got back and I was like, "Hey Ben, like you got some explaining to do." Because honestly, like I'm not gonna lie, everybody here that was in Second Chance never really explained any of their gameplay in the fucking game to each other, okay? None of y'all talked about your moves to each other. You would just ask questions and you would go about your fucking day. And it pissed me off. It pissed me off. So, like, I'm watching it back and you guys are sitting back in your interviews fucking scheming. And then you're talking to people and you're like, will you vote for them? Guys, give more. What? Why? Why? What is what? What? So I don't know. I think that honestly, if I had stayed with Dan and Ben, it would have been a lot better for them, and it would have been a lot better for me.
Amelia, I fucking love you.
Like, yes, give me
the
nothing.
Dabs in the chat. Let's go.
Amelia, is there anyone in particular who should take that feedback for their next season?
Honestly, like I think that Ben, you give people nothing. I think Will, you ask a lot of questions, but you don't give a lot back. I think that that's what
It is my
kills you.
job.
I think I think that's what kills you though is like you asked a lot of questions, but like you never really gave me an answer about them, And then like Nick,
I gave
you
you laughs and
didn't really
friendship.
try to talk to me like at all during it. Like there was no any kind of actual connection. So like and then like with Kira as well, she asked a lot of personal like questions, but she never tried to connect it about the game. So it's just a lot of questions but never an actual argument there.
Speak your truth, sis.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Amelia. That was a really great answer. I love that. We'll get
Honestly,
back to you.
That was very good.
We'll get back to you in a minute because I know, Jamil, you've been waiting very patiently for your chance to speak. You've probably been waiting the longest out of everyone for your chance to speak, considering that you were out of the game the longest. So, Jamil,
I've been
what's
waiting
up,
for
Jamil?
this one.
Hello. I am here. I am here. This is where Ben inserts, or Vincent, where I have 2 minutes of time here, and that's it. So yeah. No, let's not act funny over there. You know what you said.
Jamil, if you need more than 2 minutes, that's fine. I'm just saying don't
Anyway,
take an hour. But
what's up?
Bill, this is your moment. Don't let anybody take it away from you. Let the people
Oh,
know how you feel.
I mean, it was definitely a fun weekend while it lasted. Obviously, I mean, I kind of knew going into the game. Once I stood foot on the tribe mat, I was not in a great position. I mean, if everybody kind of looks at how the tribes were distributed, our tribe was stacked with personality, with gamers, with strong players in the game. Like a lot of us were very strong players, minus Dick. Um, but he was obviously safe. So, there's nothing you can do there. But I mean, our tribe, arguably, we had the personalities, no shade to Koa or anything like that. Like, Ben was probably the biggest personality on that tribe.
Okay, that's not
that
true.
Was
do
a,
not
well, not,
do not put shade on Amelia and Addie
no,
like that.
I shouldn't say
And this is
personality,
Jamil's
but I
moment.
should say strong game players, I should say, from their prior season.
They're also strong.
I mean, your tribe was made up of all basically pre-merge first 2-3 boots of the season.
So the guy
let's
who
be
won
real.
the season.
Ben, have your moment. Have your moment. Have it.
I mean, if I've had enough.
I think Jamil's point is that I think it's just that we had the finalists were in our tribe. So it seems like we had the people that had
so it's
been
all
in the
about
game
you.
the longer time periods where maybe because the cast was generally people that didn't make it super far on their season. So I think just us having the two finalists makes it seem like that, Jamil, if that's what you're trying to get at.
I mean, yeah, it's just we also just had a lot of people that were very integrated with one another as well. I mean, it's also why a lot of people have told me after the season, I should have pushed a name, which yeah, obviously I should have. Because when you don't hear a name, obviously your name's out there kind of thing. But it was just such walking on eggshells with people on the tribe because I knew how connected Kira and Maris were. I knew Will was very connected to the season 7 players as well as Maddie. And it was just so difficult to really push anything. Had Dick not been immune, I mean, obviously Dick would have been the first name I would have thrown out because who the fuck's gonna save Dick? Nobody was sticking their neck out for Dick. No shade to you, Dick, but it was hard. It was hard to gauge who was a safe name to push out of anybody because I feel like it would have gotten back to somebody, and it just was very hard. I mean, I was obviously the most integrated with obviously Kayla being on the tribe. But I really didn't have any prior connections to a lot of the season 7 people who were on my tribe. It was very much I maybe had met them one time and spoke all of nothing with them. And that hurt obviously, but it is what it is. And yeah, you move past it. I mean, the game was 2 months ago. Nothing I can do to change it, but it is what it is.
Jamil, did you ever consider that if you actually wore a teal colored shirt, you may have been more accepted into your teal tribe and maybe not on the outs immediately?
I don't think that had to do anything with it. I think obviously there was a sentiment where obviously I was not connected well enough, but also I was put on this pedestal of I was the biggest pre-gamer going into the season. And that's just what people saw me as if they didn't know who I was. So I think that it was hard to shake that mentality for people. I mean, we obviously saw it in the episode. I mean, obviously the fucking quote of the episode is basically foiling me. Thanks, Kira. But I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. Obviously, you move past it. I have come to terms with it now. And it is what it is.
I think you did everything right. Honestly, watching it back, I think you make a good relationship, a genuine relationship with me. And I think it worked. It worked towards your favor. Sometimes I think there's nothing you could do. I think once Dick is already pushing your name right away, there's no chance of an 8 overthrowing a 7 in the Lions kind of deal. So you did what you could, and I think you played it the spot perfectly. I don't think you did anything wrong in that first round. And you're going to scrutinize yourself, but don't.
Yeah. I mean, I tried. I did think I built a genuine connection with Maris. Obviously, she didn't return the favor in protecting me at all. She said, that the wind is going that way. I'm just gonna follow the wind. Obviously, whatever. It is what it is. I always give her shit for it. Obviously, we've built like a genuine connection now, but I always give her shit for it to the day I die.
Yeah, I will say that I did genuinely want to work with Jamil. It's just when I heard that from everyone, it's what one vote won't cast waves. And I know, Will, you're saying not to vote with the majority, but on vote one, it's difficult. I think too, like whether or not they were true, I'm hearing they're not, the pre-gaming rumors didn't work in your favor. And I think there's nothing you could do about that. But I had heard pre-gaming rumors and I knew the pre-gaming wasn't with me. And it's just something that made me nervous.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like I mean, everybody. I ain't gonna deny that I wasn't doing it. Obviously, I think a lot of the cast was doing it. It also takes two to tango. You can't pregame unless you're talking to someone else. So like that's always something good to point out. It one person cannot pregame. It takes multiple individuals to do that. Was I the victim of it going into the game? Yeah, I mean 100%. But I'd like to say that I've been vindicated since the season's ended. I would hope at least, but that's it.
Wait, Maris, weren't you part of the pop crew too?
That's the thing. I'd seen Jamil many times at Pop and we'd never spoken.
Yeah, I'm very antisocial with those I don't know.
So not a very good pre-gamer.
I was worried about a Pop Alliance, truly.
No, that was like the worry because obviously, like for the viewers that obviously don't know, like obviously there was a lot of like things happening, people hanging out and shit like that. And like obviously things were going out there like about me and Nick, obviously, because we were hanging out a lot after season 8. And then the whole like pop thing, which I just like to have a good time with people. Fuck the game. I like to have a great time with people that I can get to know, that I can connect with,
Right.
and that's all I care about.
And I just
forbid
want to
if
cut in
you're
here.
friends with somebody.
Right, I want to cut in here too because I know I was name dropped 2 or 3 times throughout the season, which I was kind of surprised with early on. I got name dropped as some type of pre-gaming bullshit, which I thought was hilarious. I know I got name dropped in the whole Milwaukee conversation.
Good luck in
Yeah, I know.
good luck in the future, Richie.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to call it out. I was very well aware of some of that. And like I was definitely getting annoyed with that because I never said people couldn't come out. And then all of a sudden I hear people are name dropping me, talking some shit about how I wasn't inviting certain people or some of that when people were invited. And it's kind of what Savage Miller saying. Like I love hanging out with people, making friends, hanging out. Like everyone knows that. So like you're welcome to come on if you want, but like don't throw my name out there.
Are you saying people threw out your name during our season? I'm confused.
I'm saying don't come for me unless I send for you, boo boo.
But can you like be more specific? I'm not sure. Like I know.
I don't remember your name being thrown out.
I want to be ambiguous right now. So
well,
wait, but I'm
then don't
confused.
bring it up.
Yeah.
Are you saying people said your name during our season? Oh, I don't understand that.
I think what Richie's trying to say is because he was part of the crew of like me, Nick, Stibe, like that kind of thing. His name was being thrown out there as somebody like that was part of like the conversations of pre-gaming, regardless if it was for season 9 or future productions or whatever the fuck it is. Like that, I think that's where Richie's going with it.
That's like maybe 50%, but I'm gonna move on from it now. I was just saying that I thought the whole talks about pre-gaming were really annoying, but that's a different thing. I'll get to a different time.
I think that's something we can all agree on. I think the concept of pre-gaming is it's pretty ridiculous because it really is open to a lot of different interpretations as far as like, like what lengths does that mean? Like, like as far as somebody that I've played the game with who I haven't spoken to like in months versus somebody that just happens to live close to where I live. And then it's a matter of, oh, you're available on this day. Oh, let's go hang out. Let's go have a beer. Let's go have a good time, watch a show, do whatever. So I don't know. Like as somebody who has played multiple seasons in both iterations of our show with Whitewater and Wisconsin, the concept of pre-gaming and pre-existing relationships has been here the whole fucking time. And as much as we would like for it to not be a thing in all the seasons that we do, especially in seasons that we're actively playing, it is ultimately kind of unavoidable because there will always be those instances in a group small like this where it's like, oh, hey, I know you. You happen to be doing this LRG too? All right. That's interesting. So I don't know. It's really hard, and I feel like Jamil was the victim of a lot of that in this go around. That's for sure.
It's like yeah, like everybody can have a pregame whatever the fuck, but I feel like once you hit the mat, that goes out of the window. Yes, you have your personal relationships and shit like that, but like the strategy just completely changes. Like, I mean, yeah, like Maris was somebody I had not talked to like at all about season 9 prior to season 9, and like was the first conversation I had like, hey, let's work together. And I was gonna stay true to that 100%. I was like, I've heard that this girl's a badass bitch in these games. Like, I live for that. I love threats. I love to work with threats because those are my people to shield me. So I was all here for it. So I mean, that just goes to show, like, you know, you can come in with an agenda, but obviously not all is going to go according to plan.
All right, so Jamil, I just want to ask this, and then I'll pass off the Sty for a question, and then we'll get to the last few fan votes. So Jamil, I remember when I was filming the season that there was a lot of it was a very joyous, jovial type of atmosphere at the start of the game. And that's something that definitely puts us currently at my number one for all of our seasons, just because of how great the first round was and how happy everyone was and how great the theme was. And then as soon as Liko lost, there was a massive shift. Like that whole atmosphere, the vibe shifted. I just kind of want to ask, was that something that you kind of also felt that tone shift, or is that something that you don't think you know so too late? Like,
I mean, I think that just kind of goes for anybody in a game. Like, obviously, everybody's excited to start the game out and get to play and everything like that. And like losing in the very first round of the game is just so like damn, because like the first vote off is always the most like what's going to happen. I feel like it's kind of similar to a merge vote, like the very first merge vote. It's like, what is everybody's agenda? Well, who are people going to target? Who's going to be in your alliance? Who's going to vote with you? Because you have no idea who's telling you the truth and who's lying to you until the votes are read. I think it's very pivotal to go to a vote pre-merge. That way you can kind of test your alliances and your groups of people. But I think that first round, it's just hard because you don't get that time to build personal relationships with people, and people just kind of going off of first impressions. Like that's how people are going to vote. And yeah, like shit, I was shitting bricks the whole time. I mean, after we lost, I was like, I don't know what to do here. Like I had no game plan of like what I wanted to vote. I kind of had an idea of who I didn't want to vote. I mean, AK, you know, Miss K Cash Money, obviously, when I was told the fake plan of K Cash Money and I didn't even vote her. But other than that, like, you know, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was like, this is too early for this shit. So yeah, no.
Sty, do you got a question for Jamil?
Yeah. Well, we were talking about how you know, we saw your reaction in this first episode of your just initial shock of getting betrayed like that and getting the first boot. And I'm curious, you say that, you know, there's obviously people you didn't want to necessarily vote out, like Kayla, perhaps, but if the shoe was on the other foot here, and if someone approached you like, hey, yeah, we're gonna blindside somebody like Kayla tonight, is that something you would be able to go through just to preserve your sake, your stock in the game? Or is that something where you try to work out some other solution and work out something better? What do you think?
I mean, I think we kind of just I think it's similar. It played out very, and maybe that's just a fault of my game. I didn't really have, I kind of played a very similar game as I did in season 8, where I you know, the people that I was loyal to, I wanted to stay loyal. I mean, we don't see it in season 9 in the first episode, but that's kind of what was happening. Like at Tribal Council, nobody, I had not heard a name the entire talk time of like what was going down. And I fucking go up to Maris first, who I thought was my ally, and I go, "Hey, like, what the fuck are we doing?" And she's like, "It's gonna be Kayla. Are you okay with that?" And I obviously I was very upset about it. Like I was like, it doesn't make the edit or anything like that. But I was so upset, and I was like, "Is this really what's happening?" And I go to Maddie on the entire opposite side of the seating order. I'm like, "Maddie, what's the vote?" And she's like, "It's gonna be Kayla." So they had me fooled. They had this whole fucking plan of like duping me out and everything like that. I even tell Maddie I'm voting for her even before the votes are like coming out. I'm like, hey, like I couldn't vote Kayla or whatever, which I'm glad I didn't make the edit. I didn't need to look more like an idiot, but I guess I'm outing myself here. So I guess it really doesn't matter. And I mean, the similar thing happened in season 8. Like, I knew, on my boot episode, it was probably me or Kayla, and I didn't vote for her then either. I voted Joe's ass. I said, if there's gonna be a pink that goes, it ain't gonna be my girl. So I play loyal to a fault. I think that's just something, it's just in my nature just to be loyal and honest with people. Some other people, not so much. And that's okay. I know that's part of the game. And that's fine. That's, I left the game feeling proud, honest. I don't have any regrets. Other than maybe, not saying goodbye to my tribe, to certain members of my tribe for sure. But it is what it is.
Okay, I just want to cut in with this. I wasn't going to ask this until you started going on a little bit about you and Kayla, because obviously coming into the season, a lot of people, there was seemingly some type of duo type of mention with you and Kayla, and you two were seemingly like a very close duo. And I kind of know how you guys are at right now. I just kind of want to talk to you about like how you two are, or how you think you are right now within the grand scheme of things since the game ended for both of you. Because again, I know, but I was curious about if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, after my vote off, I was obviously very hurt by Kayla because I was like, "Damn, you did me dirty as shit." And then Will gets voted out in the pre-jury and comes up as like basically kind of like is telling me that Kayla was like knew what was going down, and she was like she offered herself up as like this decoy plan, and so I'm like, "Damn, she did me real fucking shady." And obviously, like we talked about it after she got voted out of the game or whatever, and like it's fine. It's the game. Like, I'm willing to separate obviously what happens in a game versus my personal relationships, of course. What the hell was that, Ben? Let's see it one more time. Show it again. Sorry.
It's just Jamil, can you just shut up and let Kayla speak?
Oh, Joe, where's Joey? What the fuck?
Jamil, have you forgiven me?
Oh, duh. We don't act stupid. Like, so
I
like.
no.
Like yeah, no, we're very close. She will be a best friend for life. I love Kayla dearly. I feel like we've shared a lot of personal things with one another, and I can trust her with everything that I could ever ask for. So yeah, that's just a genuine connection, and I mean, that's part of the game. You make genuine connections with people, and I'll never forget that. So thank you, Devin and crew, for chance to meet such a wonderful person.
I just got chills. I'm serious.
Kayla, do you have anything?
I think that Jamil and I echo the same thing when we met in Second Chance. Like, it was just like sharing the same single brain cell, and like we were on the same wavelength. And I just remember I had so much fun in both games, but like navigating a new game like Survivor, from like, watching Big Brother just growing up, like Jamil was a really like crucial person for me to learn the game and have fun with it. And like he's so into like reality shows, and like he's pretty good in thinking strategic. I wish like I would have communicated him with him more. I definitely have a lot of regrets on how I navigated like that round, but we'll see. You can always say like hindsight 2020. I don't even know what I would have done, but it's not okay to ruminate on the past like that. But we're good now, unless Jamil has something to say otherwise. I wanted to talk to him as soon as he got out, but he like didn't want to. And so like Zerdali played a huge role in like, hey, like she feels terrible. And it was so true. Like that and me breaking the challenge of like the cups with Devin's immunity, like, and I spilled water. Like I was just so on edge for like a couple rounds. So I think when I finally got to talk to Jamil and like we hugged it out, and I was like, hey, like I didn't know what to do. Like I was hoping that something would have fallen into place, but yeah, I think that we're good now. And yeah, definitely glad I got to meet Jamil, and we're good in real life, I hope.
Did my speech that I just gave? What, hello?
Yes. We're like this.
Sounds like Team Stein is pretty good. That's good to hear.
I'm very glad to hear that for you too. That makes me very happy. And what also makes me happy is being able to reveal the last 3 fan votes for this season as well. Now, I do think these are probably the big ones a lot of people have been waiting for. At least 2 of them are. I'm going to go through the first one first, being the Robbed Early Bird Award, previously seen on One World 2. Now, the Robbed Early Bird Award essentially goes to someone who is voted off pretty early on, typically within the first half of the season, pre-merge, whatever you want to call it, who didn't really get much of a chance to play the game, throughout the season. And I do think it's always a very important award just because there's usually every season we have, there's always one or two players who just don't get their chance to shine as much as the rest of them do. And I always love to give a shout out to those people as well. So this season, the winner of the Robbed Early Bird Award, the second winner of this award is, congratulations to Jamil.
Oh shit! I actually won. Holy fuck! The girl. Wait. Is there
Amelia
another
was
winner
robbed.
for it?
Amelia was robbed.
No, I was gonna say
No.
I thought one of the girls were winning that for sure. So I'm actually like shocked by that. I also did not advertise this thing. So before people say I fucking sent it to a whole bunch of people, I did not. I promise. I think I thought Amelia was winning that hands down. That's the most robbery right here. I don't deserve this. But thanks.
All right,
No,
thank you for that,
Jamil, you
Jamil.
were robbed because I didn't get to be friends with you until later on. Our friendship is great. So
I love you.
I would have loved to have gotten to play with you.
There'll be other games.
I hope so. Speaking of
Love
games,
Jamil.
this next one would be for what some people could determine as the best game player being the player of the season. Now, the player of the season, again, someone who the audience believes was the best player of the season. And it was actually came down to both Maris and Dan. And by one vote, congratulations to Maris. You're known as a player of this season.
You did.
Really, really sweet. I don't know. This game means a lot to me, but I think this means even more because this community means a lot to me, and I'm really excited to know all of you. I was just saying to Stefan recently how I didn't know anyone here a year ago, and you've all become very cherished friends. So this award means a lot. Thank you so much.
We'd love to hear it. We're glad you guys are all liking your awards. And Maris, Jamil, congratulations. The last award, and this is a very unique season because I do feel like this is a season where we definitely had a lot of very popular fan favorites going in, like Ben, who was fan favorite in Noob, like Kayla of Conference's Chaos, and Amelia, who was a fan favorite of Captain's Curse. And you had some other people who were also, even if they didn't get the award, were very popular in their season as well. And I am very happy I get to present this, being the original fan favorite of our series, the one who got the award first. The fan favorite of Second Chance. Congratulations, Will.
Stop. I'd like to thank the Academy. I'd like to thank having too much time on my hands to be on the internet. To be up there with Ben and Kayla, I really appreciate it. I don't really give a shit about Richie and Amelia. Sorry, I'm adding to the misogynism in this cast. But no, this really means a lot. Honestly, this is the only award I really cared about. Thank you to the Academy. I appreciate you all.
The Academy thanks you, Will. Thank you. Now, before we
watch
close
Center
off,
Stage.
Yes, go watch Center Stage. All right, so before we close it off, I want to kind of have a bit of an open forum right now for everyone here to talk about stuff in the game, whether it revolves around personal stuff after the game, personal stuff in the game stuff in or out of the game. If there's anything you want to ask each other or just talk about right now, feel free to say it out right now. Saib, you're also included in this.
I just wanted to ask Jamil if he knew what this was because they gave this to us when we made it to the merge.
Ben.
I was there on production, asshole. I know what they look like, motherfucker.
You said I could say anything, Richie, so don't get mad when I speak my truth.
And how are you the hero of the story?
Because I believe I'm the hero of the story.
Speaking of Jamil, I have a question that we haven't talked about.
Yes.
When we went to the Survivor premiere and I told you that I was playing this season and you lied to my face and said you weren't, what was the purpose of that lie?
I wasn't trying to necessarily lie. I was trying to respect Devin's wishes. I'm not really going around blurting out that I was on the cast to everybody kind of thing. I didn't really want to. That's just not my style of things. And obviously, we had never met each other. So I was like, oh, okay. This is our first conversation. But it wasn't necessarily to be conniving or anything like that. I just was okay. I didn't feel like I was on that level with you because we never had met before.
Okay.
Nick told me Dan was on Second Chance, by the way.
Oh, here we go.
Ben, shut the fuck up.
Ben, you had your hand in majority of everybody's pots.
I have a story.
You did, Ben. You did.
I have a
So
story.
I'm not going to apologize for helping film season
Hey
8 and
Ben,
being so
Nick raised his hand
connected
to
with
start
everybody.
talking. Let's give Nick his
Yeah,
chance
give
to
me your
speak.
chance.
let's let
Please
him
shut the
talk.
fuck up. No, this is a chance to talk about Ben's fucking pre-gaming. He says, Nick, we need to face. This is before the season. Nick, we need to FaceTime. I'm like, okay, sure. He's never done that before. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's important. He sits down. He goes, Nick, what I'm about to tell you is so important. I have not told any other person. And he goes, Rebecca from season 7 is considered to be on Second Chance. It's not confirmed, but she's one of the people that they're thinking of. And he's like, you're the only person I'm trusting this with. And I'm
That's
like, yeah,
true.
I got you. Because I wanted to align with Ben. I'm like, yeah, dude, your secret is safe with me because I'm so trustworthy. So we go to
And we were number ones, and we were number one.
We were number ones. Granted, it wasn't shown, but that's okay. And then we go to whatever premiere party. He texts me right after. He goes, like, good job. I didn't hear anyone peep a word about Rebecca. I'm like, yeah, of course. Your secret is safe with me. He tells me after fucking Second Chance, the whole thing was made up. Rebecca was never considered. He was literally just testing me to see if he could trust me.
And you passed.
Yeah, and I'm the biggest pre-gamer. My ass. Get out of here.
It's not my fault everyone listened.
I think Richie has a question.
Yeah, no, I was actually thank you. Yeah, I was about to say there's someone who in the comment section right now was asking me to ask you guys this question about a couple of questions. One being what comps did everyone hate and love? And another one being did anyone on the jury change the way they view Dan, Maddie, and Vincent's games after the season aired?
Fuck that trivia comp. Fucking, that's all I gotta say.
What was the question about the comps?
About which ones you guys loved and hated?
Oh, okay, I like them all.
I love Steal the Bacon. Give that competition to me any fucking day. I would do that a million times over again.
I love that.
Yeah, even though Dick dragged my ass across the field, I would say Steal the Bacon was my favorite. And I always love fuck, I always forget the name. Touchy Subjects. I almost called it Sneaky Subjects again, or whatever the hell I called it in this season.
I liked the food comp. I'd never done one before.
I was about to talk about.
I like the food comp.
I didn't like Dan gagging in front of my face.
Yeah.
I don't
Pretty
think
funny.
Dan, you liked that one, did you?
Well, okay, no, I didn't enjoy eating the imitation crab, but I did enjoy it being a competition. I actually liked all of the different challenges this season. There wasn't any that stuck out to me as one I thought was horrible or anything like that.
I'm surprised with what Trinity said on the truth table yesterday. I assumed you wouldn't have liked the one just because of the crab alone.
Well, no, I mean, there's a difference. I mean, like from just it's an equitable comp and it's entertaining to watch and participate in. Obviously, I didn't enjoy eating the crab, but
Dan, was it just the crab for you? Like, do you think you
yeah.
could have done other gross foods, or
Oh,
is it like no good at eating
it's
gross food?
any seafood. I mean, the baby food came after that. That would have been easy. I would have to try the other ones. The one that would have really grossed me out was the one other fish thing, but that one looked like it was easier to just try and like swallow in one gulp. So I don't know. I think
Well, that's
just
how I
because
felt about the crab, and that wasn't easy for you. So
It was a
no,
lot of
well,
crab. It was
there was
too
a lot, and you had to like chew that. Like the other fish was like slimy
It
mucus.
was
Like
herring,
yeah,
is what
no,
it
I
was.
don't
Yeah,
think I would have won that anyways.
and I will say, you guys did better at that food challenge than the last like full-on challenge we had of that sort. I think we've had little challenges for people to like eat little things here and there, but the last time we had a full-blown food challenge of that sort, I believe may have been Legends, where in Legends people dropped out at baby food. Like over half the cast remaining at that point dropped out at baby food. So the fact you guys actually ate the baby food gives massive props. You guys didn't pussy out of it. So
I mean, I don't
Yeah,
get what was so bad about the baby food. Everyone did that in like less than a
yeah,
second.
exactly.
yeah.
It's
If
not. That's
anything,
the
it's
thing.
just like
Like,
applesauce. It's something
and,
easy to get
I think
down.
the crab
and
was
it
the
was done
hardest
throwing me
for
out.
sure
So
out of all the foods. The crab, I mean, it took the longest because it was like the biggest item.
Richie, can you do me a favor and remind Christian that I have Bucks tickets I need to redeem?
I will remind him of that. Yes, maybe I'll create a group chat for us Thursday night, Kayla. Then you can remind him there. Kayla, yeah, how many tickets do you have?
2.
Oh, very interesting.
Okay,
Everybody
her
should
and
come.
Paul.
Everybody should come. From
Oh,
production's perspective, what do you think went smoothly? Like, what rivets were thrown and what you thought was going to happen? Like, were there any hiccups that we didn't see behind the scenes?
that's a good question, actually. I'll say my thing first, Sav, and I'll say to you, because I think we obviously had very different experiences, because I don't believe we were on the same tribe filming. I know there was a lot of chaos with Dick being the 15th player, and originally they wanted to surprise us, all of us. But then Alex and I were the first ones at the Airbnb alongside Devin and Christian. And Devin and Christian were talking about it. Devin accidentally blurted out Richard. And at first I thought he meant my name. So I looked up and I'm like, what? Because I had zoned out completely. And then Alex had heard it. I did not. And so then they were clearly like, oh shit, we told them. And I'm like, told me what? And then they like, that's when Devin told me who the 15th player was. And then Christian's like, no, Devin, he thought you were saying his name. And so there was a whole funny thing with that. So I had to lie to like everyone else filming there who came after me and Alex, saying that I didn't know who it was, even though I did. I felt bad about that. I don't like lying, but I thought it was really funny with that. I don't know if there's really many hiccups, which I really say would be a good thing on our part. I think the only hiccup I would say is when as everyone knows, the notorious story of how my schnapps got stolen.
By the worst juror of the season.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously, it was one of those things that, like, fucking annoyed me because I didn't realize it was gone till, like, and I didn't mind sharing with people, but the fact it just stolen behind my back, I'm like, okay, you could have asked me. But, I don't know. I think transporting the items for the food challenge was hard because we tried to do it inside, and then there was a lot of back and forth running, but Stibe, what do you think? Is there something I'm forgetting? Or is something from your perspective that happened that on the other tribe?
Oh, I think it's a good question, but yeah, I honestly don't have much to report when it comes to those sorts of hiccups. I was the one running back and forth between tribes, filming confessionals as they were about to head to tribal council. I was able to it being in that position, it's a very good position to have on production, to be honest, because I'm able to have a good idea as to what's going on in both tribes as opposed to just one. But no, there wasn't really any hiccups per se. I thought it went relatively smoothly. I'm glad we had the Airbnb and we had all this extra time to fit in all this extra content. No, I think we did pretty well.
I will say, I did forget this. The jury roundtable, y'all were like chaotic jury roundtable. Because I remember just trying to ask you guys one question, and then like half of you guys went off to have your own conversations.
But
And that was just
it's because Dick like made it impossible for us to have a productive. Richie, you did nothing wrong. You did nothing wrong. We were already so fucking frustrated because you can probably speak on it more articulately than I can, but
he made it
we
all
were
about
on
him.
the same
There's no
page.
other way to say it. He was drunk and
as Jimmy said at the truth table, he has a tendency to self-centeredness, and Jimmy ate with that.
Yeah, no, it was rough. Like I was filming a lot of the footage didn't make it to the episodes. I was helping film in the jury, and I could see the frustration on so many of the jurors every time Dick would talk about his vote off every time a juror came in. That was the first 10 minutes of every discussion. And it was frustrating just watching it as well. Like I was sitting there like I'm over this fucking repeating broken record. So yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't bring my DSM with me, but if I remember correctly from my master's program, I think we call it narcissism.
You're an icon, Will. No, honestly, I will say the final question at first, in a meme way, it's a little funny that it went on for 14 minutes because what other season could that have realistically happened? But then you think about what led to it, everything that happened. It's just, I will say, I did laugh a little bit. I don't know if I covered it up well because I don't want to like talk too much beyond camera because I know from editing stuff in the past, like if you talk behind the camera, it's so loud volume wise and it fucks up the audio of the episode. But like,
I love when Stibe talks. I fucking love when Stibe talks behind the camera.
Don't say that, Richie. They love my quips.
Let me say this. So when Devin asked you guys if anyone wanted a final question of some sort. Dig was the only one to raise his hand. I think I audibly like chuckled out. I was like, and I was like, oh shit, was that loud? Like, I don't know. It felt really loud to me, and I was like, wait a minute. Like, I think I started laughing because I was like, he's the only one. I was like,
Will, how did you make yourself bald?
What?
Look at Will, bro.
Why you bald?
I'm trying to think. No, that's a really good question, Kayla. I like that.
This should have won moment of the season, in my opinion.
I'm so glad I got this on film. This was so fucking funny to fucking get.
The beautiful moment.
It really helped change the jury vote.
Right, and honestly, like this was just such a fun season all around that like I was really happy for all of you guys.
I agree. It was a great time.
All right, what else do you guys want to say for a forum to each other, to any of us?
I have to make a
thank you.
comment.
Oh, okay.
Wait, really quick, because it didn't make the episode, but I know the jury remembers this. It was when we were all deciding what our jury questions should be. And maybe Kira was trying to get something out of just like what her question would be. And then Dick interrupted her and then she lost her shit. Do you guys remember that? She was like, can I get a fucking word out, please?
Yes,
Like,
and she never loses her shit.
Oh my God, I was
Kira,
dying. But
Kira.
I was wondering if that was gonna make the episode. And then when the scene ended, I was like, oh man, like we missed the best part.
We should tell Devin to get like bonus clips going out.
Yeah,
bonus
bloopers
clips.
or something. It was crazy. Oh my God.
Yeah, it was
Do
nuts.
like the old school Survivor episodes where it's like the first 27 days, except it's like the first like day and a half.
Anyways, what I want to say was thank you. Love the community, love the game. It was lots of fun, and you all made it that way. So
Agreed.
thank you.
If you haven't played the game yet and you're watching, definitely apply. Seasons 11 and 12. Yeah, fun game.
I have something of substance to say, unlike Ben.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
I do too. One time I was sitting on the back row of a plane. Sorry.
Let's mute him. I was curious. I wanted to open up the discussion about something I mentioned earlier in the chat. Like, I was so frustrated the entire time because I felt like I kept asking people to join alliances and nobody was actually interested in doing it. And I don't think it was just a me thing because I'm watching it back. Name one other than the alliance that me and Maddie made, maybe.
How about the Dab Alliance?
But really, other than that, I mean, like, how long did that
Oh,
last
so
for?
other than an alliance.
Other than the one that didn't last for 2 rounds, because what happened with it?
Because your boring ass tribe vote off Amelia as always.
Hey, let me finish my question. Yeah, let's stay muted for now.
No.
Okay, so he needs his attention, so let's give it to him right now, I guess. But I think like seriously, like at the merge, I tried making something before the merge, I tried making something pre-merge, never stuck. We swapped around. That's a good point, Maddie. But I really thought it was an interesting piece of this gameplay. I talked to Dan a little bit. Dan thinks alliances are boring because they pick off people. It's fair. But I mean, to me, that's just like a basic part of the strategy. I was so curious as to why that never happened. I'm curious for perspectives on this whole piece of the game that I feel like was missing.
I mean, since you mentioned it, I mean, yeah, I think like majority, like huge majority alliances picking one another off are boring. I'm not like against alliances completely, but I mean, just the vibe of the season was everyone kind of just paired off and then there were voting blocks. And so just kind of rolled that way. And I was like, well, it's kind of fun to play this way and then try and just work through the middle. I was like, that's ideally the kind of game I've always wanted to play. So I was just going to roll with it. And then eventually I finally said, okay, Vince, we can be an alliance, I guess. You just had to ask a certain amount of times. Then I finally said, okay.
Please. Just kidding. I don't think it's a bad thing that we never had alliance. It was very fluid and interesting gameplay, but it was just really interesting because that feels like pretty unorthodox to me. But
I think it was pretty like unspoken though too. Like it was pretty unspoken that like Maris and Kira were gonna be working together, like Will and Kira were gonna be working together, like Ben, Kayla, Nick were gonna be working together, and you Vincent. I don't know. I think it was pretty like yeah, fluid for sure, but also like lines were kind of drawn about who was working with who. I think people knew.
I think
Yeah,
too,
that's
like
so
as a returning season, it made it that way because people had so many pre-existing connections from other games on other tribes at any given time. So it was really like, well, we could be working together now, but what happens when we merge? What happens when we swap? I don't know how you feel with the people over there.
I'd agree with that. Like the tribe swap, like yeah, we were like down purple in numbers, but like it didn't really feel that way given like Maddie and I were friends outside and like Amaris and I had a personal relationship. So it was like I agree with what you're saying. So I'm trying to say.
I do have something to add. I when I left the game, I was like so fucking mad at literally like everybody there. I want you to understand. Stive and Richie and Devin can attest to that. Like I was pissed, okay? Because I came into this and I could tell that all of you had a game going forward and you were being so nice to me. You guys were hyping me up and everything. You're being so kind. But I knew for a fact that you had no plans to actually keep me there. Like, you could tell, and I even spoke on it a couple of times in the moment where I was like, you can tell that people are being fake because they're just making conversation and then they laugh and then they just kind of stop and they drift away. So, like, for me personally, I could tell who was already trying to be with each other, like from an outside perspective. And it was just kind of like, oh, yeah, they have no plans to do shit with me. So the only people that I even felt that from was Dan and Ben. So being swap screwed, it was like, yeah, no, fuck this game. Like I went out like literally being like, fuck all of you guys. And then I had time to sleep. I slept for literally 14 hours after that game. And I woke up and I was like, okay, maybe we can't be that mad. And I, thought it over and now I'm okay with it. But like, yeah, no, I was pissed, you guys.
Okay,
As
so
you should, as you should.
Can I just ask this to all you guys before we go on? I just want to ask this. So, if given the opportunity, raise your hand. Who here would be coming back for a third season if given the opportunity to right now? Okay,
That's
so pretty much
everyone.
everyone but Vince raised their hand.
That's interesting.
He just wants to be the topic of whatever question you're about to ask. That's why he didn't raise his hand.
Oh my
Don't get
God. I'm
Wait,
tired.
when do you come back, Vince?
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like
you just
I
gave
don't
him
know
what
what
he
I have to show. Maybe. I don't know where I'll be in my
Okay,
life.
so you're essentially saying yes, but you're saying maybe no to get attention and then steer on yourself.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
No.
I know what your game is. I know what your game is.
I'll be Amanda Kimmel. You can invite me back and I'll say no after we run up twice and I'll be elusive Liam
Well,
the
I'll
most.
believe it when I
I'll
see it.
disappear. You'll never see me again. How about that?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we'll see you in All Stars, Vince.
Oh, come on.
Oh. No, Dan, one thing I want to ask you as well, because again, I think, and I don't think this would ever happen for a long time if we ever did an all winners season. But Dan, if we ever did an all winners season, would you go on it if asked?
Yeah. I don't feel the need to elaborate more on that, but for sure.
All right.
Oh, you told me something different.
You never asked me this question.
No, I was curious. I didn't get
I
a
would
chance.
okay. I'll elaborate. I would love to be on an all winner season because I know there'd be no chance I'd be playing with Ben.
Damn.
Oh.
Unless Ben wins a future season.
That's the
Well, I'm
joke.
not
He
getting
very well
casted.
could do.
I'm not getting casted again because
Richie,
Brooke
that's the
doesn't like
joke.
me.
Well, don't say that to yourself, Ben. I have a very
And
strong
Richie, what
feeling
about
you'll be
you?
back on.
Are you you're playing a season coming up, aren't you?
I am. I was gonna get to that at the end, but yeah, Heroes versus Villains is coming up. Heroes versus Villains 2. It's already been confirmed that I'm on it. I'm on with some great people.
Do you think anybody else from this cast will be on?
I have a strong feeling. I'd be surprised if there's not at least one person back, but who really knows? I mean, I don't know, and you guys don't know. So
We just learned something from Devin in the chat. He says if you win, you get an automatic spot for the All-Star season in the future. That's some pretty high stakes.
Well, there you go, Dan. There you're back.
Oh, well, Dan, you better count your days then.
Okay. I thought you weren't on All Stars, Ben.
I'm on All Stars.
Okay.
Ben's missed.
That's why Ben's already made 16 group chats. He's already pre-gaming for
12. I'm on season 11, 12, and All Stars and HGV.
That's why
I'd
Ben's
actually
made more group
Honestly,
chats in
I
the
wouldn't
last
be
week than he did
surprised.
all before Second Chance.
I heard half that. Will, sorry, what do you say?
I said that's why Ben's made more group chats in the last week than all of the time before Second Chance. He's already pre-gaming for us.
I made one with all the people over 25 and then sent them a Instagram reel about texting people who are over 25.
Can I ask Amelia a question?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
So, Amelia, I don't know if you watched Calm versus Chaos, but like the frustration that you just explained of like some people don't take your gaming seriously when you're new and like when you're trying to be flexible and like make strategic moves. Like I experienced that post-merge in Calm versus Chaos. Like I just felt like both teams were so rock solid and not wanting to mix or strategize with me. Um, and I kind of saw you going through that too, but like, what advice do you have for anybody who's going through that situation? Because we want more people to come into future seasons and not be intimidated that like there might be some repeat cast people. What advice do you have from breaking those previous maybe like reputations that are preceding or alliances? Like, how would you navigate that next time, just like hypothetically for other new people?
Well, okay. So one thing that Dan said one time really got to me was that he said that everybody like that wins because of their own game. They don't like win off of somebody else's game. They can only win based on how they play. Like it only works for them. So like, he won because he knows his strengths and his weaknesses and he played to that advantage and other people do the same thing. So really, you need to be confident on your own gameplay and you need to be confident on your own strategy. I think that what I personally did wrong was that I know that my strength is to fucking dominate a conversation. I know that my strength is to very much just pull people in. I know that I do very well controlling a room. So I took a step back because I didn't want to do that and make myself a big target. And honestly, I think I should have played on that more, honestly. Like I should have taken that fucking strength of mine and I should have used it better. So, yeah, I think honestly you should just see what you do very well and what makes you good in your social game, and I think you should play that up.
I love that.
Anyone else have any last minute questions you want to say or
We all know you have it. No shade.
have what?
It's a nick.
It's my quote from last season. Come on.
Ah. Devin said in that live chat right now, he says, Amelia, I'm really proud of where you have come since Captain's Curse. And he also says, thank you all.
Thank you, Devin.
Thank you, Devin.
Thank you for bringing us all together.
Devin and all of production. You guys are great.
Thank you. And yeah, no, I agree. Devin especially killed it with the editing this season, especially in that editing of the overnight scene with Kira finding her idol. That was something we talked a little bit about briefly, but yeah, no, that was a fantastic scene. So shout out to Devin for working as hard as he does for this game that we're running. And yeah, shout out to people on production like Jamil who came in as a late addition. But yes, it was great to have you getting that Ponderosa content and being the banker for our little auction. That was fun. And yeah, shout out to the remaining production, people like Emma taking the pictures and Tyler and Kyle, Christian,
Dolphin
Alex,
Sam.
Dolphin Sam, Zerdali, and my
Dolphin
lovely
Sam.
co-host Richie as well. Thank you as well,
Aw,
Richie.
thank you, Steve. I think you guys.
I'm gonna in some twisted part of my brain, I'm gonna miss doing these podcasts with you. So,
Well, Dan and I are very much ready to take care.
yeah, the podcast is in good hands though. That's for sure.
Right. It'll be in good hands. Yeah, I trust that. I trust you guys will carry our vision out properly.
Yeah, we got one hero and one villain for the Heroes vs. Villains season.
I promise for my ADHD to be just as bad as Richie's. Don't you worry.
Yay! All right,
And we are also, I will say, because it's important, we are also planning to have a lot of female representation because that has been lacking on the pod. No shade.
Love it. Well, it's not like we never tried.
Didn't say you didn't. Just say we're gonna do
I
it.
know. I'm very excited for you guys for next season. Is there anything else you guys want to say now before we close it off? Or
Shout out everyone who couldn't come today. Shout out Annika. Shout out Joey.
Shout out most of them who couldn't come.
What?
Everyone except one person can come.
Actually, I want to give a shout out to Dan because when Addie really wanted to, like, she was just not in it and she was kind of just out there. She didn't know. Dan was so respectful about her not knowing and just wanting to leave. Dick was really not respectful and he was rude as fuck on camera about it. And it pissed me off watching it. So that is my one little comment just for Addie to defend my girl. Cause you could be respectful, man. You could just be like, she just is having a little night, like let her go. But he was rude as fuck about it. So that's my piece.
Demonstrated that
I
respect
love
was not his
Addie.
strong
I
suit.
think Will said one of the most impressive things about my game was that I was able to get more out of Addie than just her I don't know.
We
Who's
should
your
all say it
best?
one more time. I don't know. One more
I
time,
don't know.
please.
I'm sad Addie left. Actually, I'm sad Addie left. She was in here for like a minute or two, and then she left again. But we need to get like a soundbite of her saying that just for the YouTube channel as like a short. Like, how funny would that be?
My other favorite scene was her talking to Maddie when she goes up and tells Maddie that she might be getting voted off. And Maddie's like, who said that? Who do I have to talk to? And Addie literally goes, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Just repeatedly as Maddie is like freaking out for a second and Addie is just giving her nothing to go off of. And it was so funny. That is my favorite scene.
And then she told me she threw my name out. I was like,
No.
why did you say my name?
And she goes, you might want to go take care of that. It was so funny.
That sounds like it was a fun time, though. I'm glad you guys all got back in the game and got your second chance in this game. And I'm definitely very sure it's not going to be your last for all of you guys here. So I would hope it's not. So
That's Vincent's apparently.
I think
Okay.
the time you have to know when to get off.
yeah, I think we might close off here unless anyone has any major
was me.
major stuff.
Good night, Maddie.
All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. Thank you to everyone here for coming to this reunion. It was such a fun time. Thank you everyone for a great season. Second Chance is out. And in comes Heroes versus Villains 2 coming in February 2026. We're very
Go
grateful
forever.
for all of you guys to tune in and watch this. Keep an eye out for everything Heroes versus Villains 2 related next year and go apply for seasons 11 and 12. Thank you for watching all. Watch all of our past seasons, Whitewater, Wisconsin, to prep for Heroes versus Villains. Thank you guys so much for watching, everyone.
You too, Richie.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for playing. Thank you all for
And happy
helping
holidays.
film. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. Much love from Survivor Wisconsin.